to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head. It's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Looks like today we will be playing. I guess it's Saint Hell. That's the way to pronounce it. Because in most texts it's just STHELL. So you might think it's like STHELL, but the font here implies that the ST part is separate from Hell. Cress asked what type of game it is. So I don't know, right? I think it seems like probably a first-person shooter based on tags. I guess you go around shooting robots from the screenshots I saw. We'll discover together. Saint Hell, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a little ambiguous. It's probably all good. That's 50% volume? It's pretty loud. Controls, WASD, jump, shoot, iron sights, iron sight type, reload, dash, ability, okay, weapons, okay, so pretty standard except you have an ability, which I don't know what that is. Gamepad we're not gonna do. Sensitivity, auto switch, FOV, menu, background, video, that's probably fine. Language is probably English, which is probably fine. I guess we just play. I don't know what upgrades or database or all that is. I just saw it said we had 0 credits on the top left corner. Okay. Wow, this is pretty fast actually. I'm not even running. This is walking speed. So this is probably a fast-paced game. Yeah, let me reposition my mic a bit. Am I in the elevator? We're going. We are going. That glowing stuff looks good, maybe. Well, I guess we can't go. Oh shit, robots are already coming. And they're running right at me, holy shit. This is a fast game, okay. It's not like a sneak around and plan your moves. I think it's just like, just go and start shooting. Just go. Do I have ammo? What's this? That's nothing. Is this money? When I kill him, I pick... Okay. Maybe I don't have ammo. It looks like this gun has infinite ammo already. Like, it has a clip, so I have to reload every now and then. What? That chainsaw robot? Oh god. Okay, I think I have to keep moving because if I stand still, people sneak up behind me. Oh, I think I saw something glowing back there. Let's see if I can get to it. I got something, I think. I don't know what I got. There's something over here. What was that? Is that healing? I think that was healing. Oh, what the heck? Now they got guns. Oh, I'm out of ammo. There is ammo. I'm completely out of ammo. What do I do? The stream visual lags every second? Okay, hang on a second. What can I do about that? Does OBS tell me why it's lagging? Miss frames, skip frames, drop frames. It says they're all low, but I mean, drop frames is 0, skip frames is 0, frames missed is 0.1%. So I guess I can try making that a little lower. What if I just do this one? Is this gonna be good enough? Oh, we lost the full screen, I think. Oh yeah, I don't have ammo. Oh, I do have ammo now. What's the food you always get? It's some sort of Chinese noodles. I forget the name. Yi Min noodles or something like that. Oh wait, am I dead? I can't tell if I'm dead. I am dead. I'm 200 basically out of 300 in the world, I guess. How's the volume? I guess the volume's a little loud. Let me turn that down a bit. Frames are better, just the resolution. Oh, I got credits now. Oh, that's probably what the upgrade thing is. Right? Like if I upgrade, I earn credits in the game, then I go and upgrade, and then the game becomes easier, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I think we have a pretty good understanding of what type of game this is now. Can't believe you have like finite ammo though. Like that's like if you're out of ammo, then that's it, right? You're kind of screwed. You just have to hope for an ammo box to spawn or something like that. Because you don't, I think you don't have a melee attack. I haven't found one anyway. Have to play kill robots don't die. Yeah, exactly. And so the screws or whatever, when you kill these enemies, they drop screws and gears and stuff. I guess that's the credits. I guess that's how you get the money. Oop. Okay, let's upgrade a bit, because I find the game pretty tricky right now. How much is an upgrade? Oh, 5,000? Wow. Equip perks. It's like up to... Oh, you can only have 4 of them even. You can't even... You choose one of these and then you get that. What's equipped ability? Slow down time. Blast wave. Sometimes sounds like something I'm going to use more often. But yeah, it's like 8,000 for that. Melee resistance. Explosion resistance. Increase the damage of the brute machine gun. Shotgun. Semi-automatic handgun. Health. So this is like I have to pick one weapon and then I upgrade it. 5,000 just for 10 extra health points? I guess I'll save up 8,000 for this thing. Alright, 8,000 credits. Let's see if we can get it. Server for like 115 bullets. I know. Well, hey, Chalkar, how's it going? Am I a robot? Oh no, that's the sound effects of the enemy. I always like saying when I walk around I hear robot footsteps. We're actually hearing the robot footsteps, not my footsteps. At least you can upgrade. Yeah, but the upgrades seem expensive and not that good, honestly. Like 5,000 for just 10 hit points. I think like when they hit me, they do like 30 or 40 damage, right? So 10 hit points doesn't even get you an extra like being hit. And these chainsaw robots, I guess it feels like, is it insta-kill when they hit me? Like their aim is bad, like they do this dashing thing. But if they actually connect, it feels like I always die. I'm to survive more, yeah, I guess so. Oof, that guy almost hit me. How you doing, Shakar? How's your day so far? What is that thing? Is that a new robot? I don't think we've seen that before. Dropping ammo. Oh crap, I died. I went for the thing and then I died. 6,000, okay. Still don't have enough to upgrade. I mean, we could buy the health, but I don't think I want the health. We're saving for 8,000. Explosion took 80% HP, yeah. That's why like 10 extra hit points is completely useless, I feel like. Dang it, I missed. I'm missing a lot of shots, actually. You have a roommate problem? Do you have a roommate? I didn't know that you had a roommate. Or is the problem that you don't have a roommate? Oh, I think the chainsaw hit me, but it only did 25 damage that time. Maybe it does damage over time, and just like the other times I've just stood for long enough that I took like 25 damage 4 times or something like that. From room 25, yeah. Oof. What hit me? I don't know, but I'm low on health now. Oh god, the explosion. Oh, I got 8,000. Alright, let's upgrade something. So I want time slowdown, right? That's what I said. How much for more damage? Oops, what's going on? Does this game have co-op? Probably not. I don't- wait, did we lose the video feed? The video capture? On my preview it says we lost it. Yeah, it looks like we lost it. What happened? How do I fix that? I'm gonna quit the game and restart it. Maybe. I quit the game. You still can't see anything. You can't even see my desktop. Oh, there you go. Hang on. Now you can see my desktop. Streaming hell. Alright, let's try it again. You see this? Yeah, you do see it. Okay, cool. Does this game have co-op? I don't think it has co-op, but it has community leaderboards. I can't create. Why can't I create it? Oh, I need a minimum name length. Did I create it? So it says something about like, if I can post the leaderboard into Twitch chat, and then viewers can participate also. But I assume that means you need to have the game. Like you can't just play for free like Jackbox style. So if you guys have it, I made a leaderboard called Nebu with password Nebu, but I'm assuming most people probably don't have it. How much is? Oh really? Because I mean I don't think we play together. I think we just post our leaderboard scores. How much is this? Let's see. I'll tab back out. Oh, $2. Actually, not too bad. I'm surprised. Because the graphics are actually pretty good for a $2 game, I feel like. Z Chucker says, I have 2 roommates, but one of them is making us feel uncomfortable. He slides weird notes under our doors. He says he hears voices outside the house. He barricaded the room to his door from the inside, climbed out the window, and then tried to climb on the roof to wake up the police. Yeah, that's... I would also be uncomfortable. I don't know what to do about that. Like, I don't know if there's any advice that I could propose in that situation. Hang on, I'm gonna... So someone on Steam is requesting to view this stream. What I'll do is I'll tell them to watch on Twitch, I think. I'm gonna give them a link. There we go. Okay, so we have the ability now. All the best for your roommate situation. Yeah. If Steph were here, I would ask her, like, so, you know, like, how do you know when you're in danger, right? Like, if he's gonna do something really crazy. I'm in contact with his sister and she's aware of his behavior. I gave him 30 days to move out, so hopefully he moves out. Okay. Yeah, I guess that seems like a good solution. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because it's like, it's no one's fault, right? It's just bad luck of like, you know, of like random health situations. In the same way that, you know, just it's bad luck for me that I have this depression thing. And it makes my life more difficult. It makes some of my friends' lives more difficult when they try to, you know, they put effort to help me, and it costs them energy and whatever emotional labor to help support me. But that's just how life is sometimes, I guess. One time you walked into Vroom Vroom because he's off screen. Yeah. Use the ability. Am I doing it? Wait, I can't shoot. Oh, because I'm out of ammo. Oh, that's a pretty long slowdown, actually. Like, that power's pretty good. It lasts a long time. All the best for you too, Nebu. Thank you, Chris. Oh gosh. Did I get... wow, the explosion killed me. I guess we'll save up for 6,000 to get, like, more damage on the pistol. Maybe it's the next goal. But otherwise, this game is, like, brutally hard, I feel like. Or maybe I'm just bad at it. But, like, because I feel like once I get the pistol upgrade, that's basically it, right? I can't really do any more upgrades further than that. And then if I can't get any further in the game with max upgrades, quote unquote, then that's it, right? I'm screwed. Guess I'm not max out, so might as well grab this. Or maybe I should save it. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Shoot. So do I prioritize exploding guys? If I could even hit them with my shitty aim. So that robot drops the weapon upgrade, right? this is a low rate of fire shotgun. Kind of annoying to work with. Did I get it? I was trying to get the... I think I missed it. Oh shoot, I died. Big gun, yeah. It's not that great though, because it fires so slowly. Like, I have to really not miss if I use that gun. Not like the pistol where I can like shoot 5 times and miss twice, you know, but then 3 bullets hit and then it's still fine. Too slow, yeah. It sounds from like there's a machine gun in the game too. I wonder if we can get that one and if it's gonna be better. Oh, I hit the edge of the map, which is I guess the water. You can't go into the water, maybe? I didn't try, but I just sort of assumed. But yeah, it looks like confirmed you can't go into the water. We're running low on ammo. There we go. What hit me? Find out all the guns. I'm curious if they make. There's definitely enemy melee, right? These guys run up to you and they swing their crowbars or whatever it is. And then in the upgrades, there's something that says gain resistance to melee damage. This one, but I don't know if we have melee. Yeah, these like to get this says beat the first boss, beat the second boss, beat the third boss. I don't think we even reached the boss, you know. So it's like, oh, it's single use. I have to buy it every time I want to use it. Wow. What a ripoff. Okay, I guess I'm never buying this again. $25,000 to unlock the second slot. So I guess, okay, so we equip this, and either we defeat the first boss, or we get 25,000 credits, I guess, is the next step. I was wondering why, like, so when I in this session I was pressing X to do the slowdown, but it didn't work, and I wasn't sure why. And it turns out it's because you used up you used up your power, and then it's gone. This would be cool, a co-op though, right? Like if we were all, if we were together trying to survive as long as possible, with like a whole bunch of robots coming at us. Am I dealing more damage? I still feel so. Before it felt like it took about 2 shots to kill these guys, and it still feels like it takes 2 shots to kill these guys. So I don't feel like I'm even doing that much more damage. Can't even, I'm missing this freaking chainsaw robot. And yeah, like even with the upgrade pistol, wasn't that like 4 or 5 shots? I know lots of them miss, but you can tell when you hit because they flicker, right? They glow a bit when you hit them. So I feel like I shot the chainsaw robot like 4 times before he died. Oh gosh. Okay. Did I get hit? Yeah, I got hit. I'm down to 34 health. There's a healing pack there. Let's see, I'll grab it. Okay, nice. Looks like healing does about 50%. Why is my aiming so shit? I'm trying to shoot the flying guy, but I keep missing. Oh, I'm bumping into something. Wow, now I'm out of ammo. .22 health. Dang it. Alright. On the road to 25k, I guess. Is there different times of day? Like now, it feels like it's more dark now. Like it's more nighttime. That's pretty interesting. Cycle change, yeah. How curious. Dang, I missed the freaking ammo drop. Still missing it. Like I'm trying to circle around it to grab it. Well, I think I got here. But I keep missing it. And there's a health that I just missed. And I'm about to die because I ran into an exploding guy, I think. How do I stop the streaming thing? So in the top right corner, it says, like, Steam is saying that it's streaming or something live, but I don't want it to say that because then it's a little bit harder to see how many credits I have. But I don't have to stop that in Twitch. Not in Twitch, in Steam, I mean. So maybe for now I don't worry too much about surviving long, and I focus more on trying to get as much money as I can. On the assumption that even if I put a lot of effort in trying to survive, it's not going to work. So don't put effort for like don't put a lot of effort for a low benefit. Instead, put effort in things that give you high benefit. For an upgrade would have been nice. Yeah, I'm hoping the that still hit me. I died. I'm assuming that the weapon upgrades are permanent. I mean, like they're equipable, so as long as I have them equipped, they apply. But I guess like sometimes you run out of slots and you unequip one to equip a different one instead. So did I make a lot more money? I don't feel like I made that much more money. Like it's still like 3,000 credits maybe per round is how much I'm making. Approximately. 2,000, 3,000. I was at 7,000 at the beginning of this round, so if I get to 10,000, then I know I'm making about 3,000 again. Oof, I ran into that chainsaw guy. I should have strafed right, but I strafed left instead. Yeah, I can't hit these guys who are far away. Like, I'm aiming for that chainsaw guy, I'm missing almost every single shot. So many chainsaw bots, what the heck? This game only needs entry for 1 hour, might get, yeah, makes sense. It's not too bad. Especially for the price. Please give me healing. Alright. And I still haven't even gotten to the first boss yet, right? So maybe like this game might have like some decent depth to it. It says there's at least 3 bosses, I think. I don't know what happens then. Do you like, does the game end or does it like loop in a cycle or what? Wow, I'm missing so much. Gosh darn it. Nope. Yeah, I made about 10,000. So 3,000 per round. Your screen is chaotic. There's a lot going on. Yep. So let's see, to get to 25 I need 50, so I do need to do 5 more rounds, I guess, basically, to get to 25. And then we can look at another another upgrade, maybe like resistance to explosions or something. I don't know. Because I feel like it's not the melee attacks that kill me. Unless does the chainsaw count as a melee attack? Maybe it does. But it's definitely not these guys. These guys are basically no danger. Because what they do is they run up to you, and then like once they get to you, they stop moving before they swing. So as long as you're moving away from them, they never actually hit you. So it's the chainsaw guys, it's the exploding guys, and it's those flying guys, right? That are the big problem for me. But the flying guys don't even get here until like later. Sometimes I die before I even get to the flying guys. So it's really the chainsaw guys and the exploding guys I need to worry about. Ignore the babies. Well, the thing is, like, you still get like money from killing them, right? So it's kind of worth it to kill them. And I find them easier to... Oh, I'm out of ammo. Because they, Oh my goodness. Because they sort of run at you in a straight line, they're also easier to hit, I feel like. Whereas, like, for the chainsaw guys, I guess they also run at you in a straight line, but you don't want to be in front of them, right? You want to be to the side so you don't get hit by a chainsaw. And so then, from your perspective, they're moving sideways. And then that makes them harder to hit. I am finding it. I hate the exploding guys. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get explosion resistance. That's what I'm going to do. Chainsaws sometimes hit when you don't see them. Yeah, that is a big problem. Here we go. I got the machine gun, I think. Whoa, what was that? It looks like the last bullet in the clip does some sort of super explosion. Maybe. I'm gonna die soon, I think. What was that? You see like a beam fly through the sky? Was that maybe the super explosion is an enemy attack? Maybe it's not my attack. Yeah, there's something going on with those explosions. I guess it's an enemy attack. Is there a sniper out here, maybe? It's pretty good for $2. Yeah, I agree. Oh no! Did I get this health pack? I think there is a sniper bot. Is this a boss? Did we kill it? Another sniper bot. Oh, ran out of machine gun ammo, so now we're back to... No! But this is a new record for me. 3 minutes 36 seconds. Yeah, I went up. I'm halfway now, about, 150 out of 300. Pretty good. Really wish it was co-op. Yeah, this game would be amazing co-op. Probably worth double the price then, right? Like at $5, $10 maybe even. $10 might be a bit much, I don't know, for this. But definitely this would be worth $5 co-op. $10 I might want like maybe... I guess there's only 3 weapons in the game. Like I would want a few more weapons maybe. Maybe a few more maps, I don't know. With friends we would play this more, yep. Then if you get really fancy, you start adding character classes like, engineer, medic or whatever, and then you're looking at $15 maybe, Dang it. I need ammo. There's health over there, but I don't need help, I need ammo. Yep, I'm out of ammo. Oh, there's ammo. Here come the explodey boys. stop moving for a bit and then so he hit me. Am I even hitting this flying guy? He's not flashing, but he's like right in the center of my crosshair, I feel like. There we go. Yeah, I guess the flying guys don't flicker when you hit them, unlike most other robots. Dang. Grab the health. No, I died. Dark morning routine with the game in the morning. Okay. Thank you for alert. Oh. I got stuck on something. Yeah, my aim is really bad. I gotta work on that. Am I slower if I have iron sights? Let's test. No, I think I'm about as fast. Okay. Dang, he got me. These guys always have the weapon upgrade, so I definitely want to focus them. Oh no! I didn't realize there was a guy right behind me. Okay, let's go for the health pack. I missed the health pack. Oh, he does flicker when I shoot. Okay. What's that? Ammo. Okay, let's walk towards that. I missed it. There it is. What the hell is hitting me? Oh no. I need help. Give me your machine gun. Oh, this might be bad. Yep. I got stuck next to the guy with the explosion. Wait! My upgrades are not permanent! Wow, so you lose everything when you die. Is it worth upgrading at all then? I guess what you want to do is you want to like save up. Does this even stay unlocked? Like if I pay 25k for this and then I die, am I gonna lose it? This game is so brutal, what the hell? I guess let's get this one. Although we'll probably lose it because I'm gonna die at some point, so that's, you know. Okay, I guess maybe how to think about this. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save up the 25 again and I'm gonna buy the unlock slot. And then we'll see, do I lose that if I die? Like, I'm hoping something is permanent in this game. Some upgrade. If it's not, then it's basically not worth upgrading ever, right? Or until you have like a crap ton of money. Basically, it's not worth doing like minor upgrades like incrementally, right? It's you wait till you have like a ton of money, then you buy all the upgrades, and then you do one single god run and hope to get to the end of the game. Oops. No, I guess I heard the sound effect of them hitting me, but I didn't take any damage. Dang it, I got hit by the chainsaw guy. Again, I got hit by the chainsaw guy twice. Third time, I guess. Another time I got hit by the chainsaw. They're coming like out of nowhere, these angles that I never see. 4 health. I think I'm dead. I think I'm surrounded by exploding guys. Oh no, I made it out. Okay. Oof, I dashed right into one of them. Are there nuts and bolts money? Yeah, I think so. I think every time I get one, in the top right corner, you see it says credits. Kind of. It's hard to see because the Steam thing is... I don't know how to get rid of that Steam thing. But, every time I pick up a nuts and bolts, the credits go up a little bit, I think. Wow, I completely missed that. Gotta grab some of these. There's health there, but I'm full health still. I need ammo. There's an ammo. Make my way over there, grab some of these first. Kill the weapon bot if I can. There we go. That's my health. Still pretty good. Okay. Wow, I keep missing this flying guy. Yep. Sniper bots are coming in. Health is still kind of okay. Okay, I need the health. Where is it? Did I get it? No, I didn't get it. I missed it. I'm dead. Yeah, gosh darn it. 20k, so I just need about 5k more. I don't know that there's, I don't think there's a headshot mechanism. It feels like it's 2 shots to kill them, whether I shoot them in the head or if I shoot them like in the leg even. Oops. Need to grab money soon. Not money, sorry, I mean ammo. Gosh darn it. I'm in trouble. I think there's ammo over there. I see. Yeah, here it is. Oh god, that gun robot still isn't dead. There we go. Like 25 health, so I'm pretty screwed now. Oh no. Oh man, I think I had 1 hit point because the health pack heals you for 50, and I have 50 hit points after grabbing the health pack. I'm dead! Yeah. I dashed into the exploding guy. Alright. I should be able to afford the 25k after this match, hopefully. I'm too used, like, because of all the other FPS I play, I keep going for the head, but there's no headshot mechanism in this game, so I should not bother. I should go for the body. It's a bigger target. Okay, let's make our way towards that ammo gradually. Oh, what the heck? How did he suddenly catch up with me? Does he have a dash also? Because we were like maintaining speed, I felt like. It was a fixed distance from me, the chainsaw guy, and then he suddenly like closed in on me. Oh no, explodey guys. I hit him like 3 times, what the heck? There we go. Oh no, oh no. Frickin' guy. The chainsaw guy hit me. Is that a health pack? I think it is. Got it. Who's next to me? Gosh darn it. No, I'm taking so much damage. Ah. Okay, I have enough. I'm gonna spend 25k on the slot unlock. And I really hope it stays unlocked. I can't even afford to put anything into it. So we'll find out, I guess. If I die and I lose it, oh man. Chainsaw guy got me. Okay, let's make our way towards the ammo. There's the health if I need it over there. I miss the ammo, where is it? There's also the gun guy there. Probably gonna die real soon, actually. Alright, moment of truth. Did I keep... Do you see it? Yep. As far as I can tell, every single upgrade is temporary. Let me check if the perk unlock is temporary. Oh no, it's permanent. Okay, if you unlock these things, that's permanent. So that's good. Okay. Time to refund. So my next goal, I guess, is 50k. I need to save 50k to get this guy. Oh man. It is a very strange decision. I mean, there's two strange decisions and they sort of cancel each other out, I guess, question mark. It's weird. The first strange decision is to put a leaderboard in an upgrade game, right? Because then it feels like whoever has all the upgrades has a huge advantage on the leaderboard compared to people who don't have any upgrades. And I guess they try to counterbalance that by saying, well, the upgrades actually are temporary. Like, if you die, you lose them all. But that is also, like, that is such a brutal design decision where it's like, you save up all that money and you buy an upgrade and then you die and now your upgrade's gone. Like, wow. I don't know. I guess like one alternative path they could have gone with is something more like Slay the Spire, where instead of like buying upgrades, like instead of paying for upgrades that you get at the start of the match, you sort of like as the game progresses, there's like random upgrades that you get. Maybe like, you know, like they do rounds here. Like, you know, the first round is like kill 10 of these baby robots. And then when you survive that, you get a random upgrade. And then it kills like, you know, 15 of the baby robots plus one of the exploded guys or something. And then as you play, you unlock like more random upgrades that could that get put into the pool of random upgrades that you might like randomly get. How's my health? I need the health pack. Okay. So, you know, a very Slay the Spire style design. That might have worked well. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to predict what's going to be fun until you actually build it and try it out, right? Like when you design the game on paper, you don't know how it's actually going to feel like when you play it. So that's why these are all hypothetical, right? It's easy for me to say like, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. But then the hard part is like, okay, so now let's build it and let's try it and see, does it actually end up being fun? I'm dead. Oh no, I'm 4 hit points. Where's the health pack? Is there a health pack anywhere? I don't think there is. Well, I need 50k? Jeez. Do the robots come out of the water? That's where it feels like they spawn from. Like, it looks like they just slide out from, like, under the water. Because occasionally you see... You don't see them spawn too often. Yeah, like this guy. He just spawned from coming out of the water, I think. I need some ammo soon. I need some ammo very soon. Got me. Guess I'll get the health pack. Sometimes I can't even tell if the robot's still alive or not. Like, I see the corpse of the chainsaw guy, and I'm like, oh god, it's a chainsaw guy, but he's already dead. Oh, I missed. Miss again. Wow, did I one-shot the flying guy? That was lucky. Uh-oh. 32 health. Probably less now that I'm taking damage. Yeah, I'm dead. So Chris, are you playing the game? Do you want to do a leaderboard password thing? I think I made a leaderboard called, like, the name is Nebu and the password is Nebu. If you wanna compete or whatever, share your scores. Nebu, Nebu, right? Yeah, exactly. I don't know how it works though, because like maybe it needs at least 2 people. Because what I thought would happen is that, like, even right now it would have shown like I'm number 1 on the Nebu Nebu leaderboard, right? Like I'm the only entry, but the first place. But it doesn't say that. So maybe it waits until there's at least 2 people on the leaderboard, then it will show the how I am on that leaderboard. Or maybe I have to go to another screen to view it. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Plus my health, 75. Okay, I don't need the health pack yet. Oh no, the exploding guy! 2 exploding guys in a row. Okay, I need the health pack now. Where is it? There it is. Oops. I walk into the chainsaw guy. Using our health pack. No! I walked into the chainsaw guy again. What? I think a stray bullet hit me. How to win the game, be the only player. Can I see my leaderboards now? Oh yeah, here I am. Number 1. Only friends on off. Watch Cress beat me on her first try. Like, I come to the leaderboards and I see like I'm at like what, 3 minutes? Cress is like at 6 hours, and then I'm like, oh god. Making coffee. How much milk and sugar do you like in your coffee, Cress? Because I like a lot. I like, they say, you know, strong coffee, weak coffee. Oh, hang on, let me pause. I gotta stop Marley from doing something. Marley, get off of that. No, don't stop listening. Okay, I'm back. He was like, Marley's like, what's going on? He's like looking at me like completely confused and astonished, like, why are you bothering me? Why I haven't done anything? What he did was, like, I have a work laptop, and it was open, so he's sitting on the laptop with, like, on the keyboard, so he's pressing all the buttons right on the keyboard. So I walked up to him, I was like, no, you can't do that. And I moved him off and I closed the laptop. But like, you can see from his facial expression, he's like, what's wrong? I didn't do anything. What's going on? I'm just sitting here. What's happening? So he's all confused now. Like he's sitting on the floor, like looking around, like what happened? What did I do? Poor kitty. Yeah. You know, one of the things I think about a lot is what the future will be like once we have super intelligent AI. And one thing is that, like, if we have the assumption is we built the AI, right? So like, let's assume for now that we've made it like a benevolent AI that wants the best for us, right? It's not one of those crazy killer AIs that want to kill all humans or whatever. So it's a good AI. And because it's so much smarter than us about everything, we might decide to let it become the basically like the governance, make decisions for everything, right? Like how should we spend our budget? Like, you know, what should we research? You know, like should we? Is it more important? Like, if we have $1 billion, should we, you know, spend it on cancer research or malaria research or what, right? Like, what is the most effective? What will lead to the best outcome? All these complicated decisions that right now maybe it's too difficult for humans to make, or like we're making them, but we might not be making the best choices, right? And so if we have an AI government like that, who's, you know, making all the right decisions for us in our best interests, it's possible that the AI might also like come up with some like moral rules, right? Like it might say like an obvious rule might be like, okay, never, you know, don't kill people, don't do violent crimes, that's bad, you know, don't steal from each other. Fine. I mean, we already figured out those rules. But like, you know, not every rule that we figure out is necessarily going to be the good one, right? Like, so for a long time, we considered we considered homosexuality to be a bad thing, right? Like it was morally reprehensible to be a homosexual. And then we later figured out, like, well, not everyone agrees, but I think right now most people agree that actually being homosexual is okay, and it's being what's the word? It's being hateful towards those homosexuals, which is bad. And Iris Wristwatch, hydrate. Okay, let me hydrate real quick. Thank you for the redemption. So what I'm thinking is, like, it might be possible that the AI figures something out. It figures out a moral rule, right? It'll tell us, like, do this or don't do this or whatever. And we will be, like, super confused. We're like, why? Like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Why this arbitrary rule? And what if the reasoning behind it is so complicated that there's no way for the AI to even explain it in terms that we would understand? And so the analogy here is like what I did with Marley, right? Like, I'm telling Marley, like, hey, you can't, you know, from his perspective, it's like, he was just sleeping there, and all of a sudden I come here and then I stop him and I move him. And he's like, why? And from my perspective, there is a reason why, right? I can make a decision of when it's okay for him to sleep on something and when it's not okay. But, like, you know, to explain to him, like the concept of a laptop. And even, like, some laptops, it's fine if he sleeps on, right? Like, it depends. Did I lock the screen, or is the screen unlocked? If the screen's locked, then he can sleep on it, and it's fine. And if it's not, then it's a problem. But even then, like, how big of a problem is it? If it's just, like, a random gaming laptop or whatever, then it's not a big problem, right? But if it's a work laptop, where, like, you know, he might be, like, sending messages to remote Amazon servers, which is going to take something down, you know, in the public or something like that, then it's an even bigger problem. Like, and so all these concepts are, like, really hard to explain to a cat, right? Basically impossible to explain to a cat. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, the analogous situation here for humans, like will the AI come up with a rule that is extremely complicated to explain, such that there's no hope of any human ever understanding the explanation? And then how would we, as humans, differentiate between, like, oh yeah, the AI is smarter than us, let's just trust it, you know, even though we don't understand, it probably has a good reason, so we're gonna listen to what it says. versus actually we think there's a bug in the AI. It's making some wrong decision and we should go fix a bug. Right? Like it might not be possible to distinguish between those two situations. You want humanity to be morally and AI to take the role. Yeah, basically that's what I'm describing in my hypothetical. Like when you do the analogy. Gosh, darn it. What's good for humanity is ambiguous and will probably take away the freedom that we have now. Well, I mean, in principle, any all the information that we as humans use to reason, the AI could also use as information to reason with, right? So if we have like this concept of like, well, you know, we value individual freedoms of actions. So, and we consciously made the trade-off of like, sometimes we allow for the possibility of people to sometimes, like bad people to do bad things because we think it's important to give good people the liberty to do what they want. So it's like a risk. You know, we say we're giving people liberty to do things, but sometimes that means, you know, a bad person would do something bad. And we made the decision that this is the right trade-off. And AI could make that same decision, right? It might say, it could do the analysis and say, yeah, the right decision is to sometimes let bad things happen in exchange for increased liberty. Or it might make a different decision. It depends. Because it's tough for us. Like we can only think about this like qualitatively, right? We say, well, we're not sure. Maybe it's better to let bad things happen for freedom, but maybe it isn't. Like, you know, we have different opinions. Different people think different things. But maybe there is one right answer, right? Like if you were smart enough, you could like think through all the consequences of everything. You think like here are all the possible actions anyone could ever do. And the probabilities of them happening and all of that. And we did the calculations and we determined actually it's better for there to be less liberty, or where it's better for there to be even more liberty than what we have now. You know, we can't, it's a very, very complex thing to think about because there are so many possible actions and we don't know the probabilities of individuals doing whatever action. But if you were a super genius, in theory, maybe you could figure it out, right? And you could figure out the best answer. And so maybe the AI will be that smart. Maybe the AI will figure out the right answer. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that the AI will figure out the right answer, right? Like maybe it's such a complicated problem that there is no right answer. But there's the possibility that there is a right answer and that the AI will figure it out. And furthermore, even like, you know, the scarier part is maybe it will figure out the right answer, but it won't be able to explain the answer to us humans, because the answer is too complicated. And then what do we do then? Do we just trust the AI? Or do we... Because it's always possible that there's a bug in the AI, right? Like, because the AI was programmed by humans. And humans, when they write software, they put bugs sometimes. Unintentionally. 42, yeah. That's probably what it will decide, Chakar. Let's see. Chris says... We do have enough food for everyone. The AI would figure out the logistics for... Yeah, for example, yeah, that is... I think it's widely accepted that there is enough food to feed everyone, so there's no reason for there to be hunger anywhere in the world, except that the logistics of like how do we, you know, get the food from where it's wasted to the food to where it's needed. You know, that's a complicated logistical problem, like and so maybe the AI will figure that out. So there are I guess the point that Cress is trying to make, and that I agree with, is that we have not made the best decisions yet, and we know that. Like we know we can improve, we can make better decisions. It's just it's difficult. So that's where an AI, governance AI, can help a lot. You know, in helping us make these decisions. No, give me the shotgun. I want the shotgun. But the frickin' exploding bot got in my way. Bad things do already happen, it's just more circumstantial. Yeah, well, I mean, so you could, it's possible. We haven't done it, but we could just restrict everyone's freedoms, right? Like you're never allowed to. We just put everybody in like, kind of like in the Matrix, right? Like in a test tube or whatever, and we let you, like, you know, read the articles on the internet or play games or whatever, but you're not allowed to interact with any other human because we don't want you to do anything that could hurt someone else. Like, you know, what if you say something mean to someone that hurts their feelings or something like that, right? So now we ensure that nothing bad ever happens, but no one ever has any liberty, basically. That's one extreme, right? And I think most humans have agreed that this is not the right trade-off. Like, personal liberty is important enough that we are willing to let some bad things happen. But we haven't figured out, like, okay, so what bad things exactly are we gonna let happen, you know? Like, I think a common debate, especially in America, is about, like, gun ownership, right? Like, one thing is to say, okay, nobody ever is allowed to have any guns, you know, because someone might use a gun to shoot someone. And we don't want to risk that. And then other people say, well, actually, no, I think it's important that people have the liberty to own guns. And sometimes, you know, someone's going to do something bad with a gun, but most of the time they don't. Like, most people who own guns don't do anything bad with them. And so, you know, there's arguments about what is the right trade-off, right, between freedom and preventing bad things from happening. Chris says, wouldn't you rather make your own choice than put it in the hands of Marley? Now, it's the other way around, right? Like Marley probably does want to make his own choices, right? Marley's preference is that he can do whatever he wants whenever he wants. I'm the governance though here. Like, I'm the boss. Like, I don't let Marley do certain things. And often, like, sometimes it's for, you know, it's to protect me, but often it's to protect him. Like, there are things that are toxic to I don't know about cats, but especially dogs, all right? Like, chocolate is toxic to dogs. I think garlic is also toxic to dogs. And I used to have a dog. And then sometimes, like, I'm cooking or whatever, and then the dog, you know, smells the food, and he's like, oh, I want to eat that, right? Like, and I don't let him. I say, no, I'm the boss, and my rule is you cannot eat chocolate, you cannot eat garlic. And the dog is probably sad about that, right? He's like, well, I want to do what I want to do. But my position is like, well, I'm smarter than the dog. I know things that the dog doesn't know, and I'm doing this for your own protection. I'm telling you, if you eat that chocolate, you're going to have a bad outcome. Such that if you were smarter, you would agree with me that, you know, yeah, you're right, I should not have eaten the chocolate, but you're not that smart, and it's too difficult for me to explain to you why my decision is the right decision. So as a dog, you're just gonna have to trust me that I'm making this decision and it's the best decision for you. So, like, you know, we could have that situation with the AI, right, where we want to do something, the AI says, no, you can't do that. And we're like, why we want to do it? And the AI is like, well, there's a good reason, but it's too complicated to explain. Like, your human mind literally cannot understand it, just like the dog mind cannot understand. Like, there's no way, as far as I know, to explain to a dog why they can't eat chocolate. Like, the dog just doesn't have the basic concepts necessary to process the explanation. Like, even if language weren't an issue, right? Like, even if we could speak dog language, I don't know that dogs understand biology and nutrition and the concepts of poisons and things like that. There's so much base information you would have to explain first that I don't know that the dog could process and understand. Cress says, it's like neutering, we're doing it for the stray population, but they want... Yeah, exactly. But, like, as humans, we're not infinitely smart also, right? Like, it's possible that we're making the wrong situation. The wrong decision, I mean. Like, maybe we are over... Like, so sometimes we try to control the population of a wild species, and we might over control, right? Like, we might accidentally reduce the population too quickly, and that causes problems too. So there's no guarantee that we're making the right decision. We think we're smarter than the animal, so our decision is probably better than the animal's decision, but there could be an even better decision still. Like, maybe, you know, if an AI were monitoring the animal population and figuring out you know, like only selectively neutering certain animals or something. I don't know. I don't know much about the science of population control and things like that, so it's hard for me to give like realistic examples. But I think like the concept of like, you know, of sometimes humans make the wrong choice, I think that's fairly uncontroversial, and hopefully you can see, you know, the point I'm trying to make there. I need a health pack. But there is no health pack. Not just dogs, but people don't get to something. Yeah. I'm using dog just because like I think everybody agrees like there's a strong disconnect between like even like, you know, an average human and the smartest dog in the world. There's a huge difference in intelligence, right? But I think some people don't agree on how much difference there is between like a smart person and a dumb person. And I don't know how big that difference is either. You know, like, who's the dumbest person in the world? And is the distance between an average human and the dumbest human in the world bigger than, like, let's say, the dumbest human in the world and a dog, you know? Or, like, which difference is bigger? I guess it depends on what your definition is for the dumbest person in the world, right? Because, like, I think there are people who are, like, in comas, for example, and so, like, basically a vegetative state. And they can't do anything, basically, right? And so, in some sense, you might say, okay, so the dog is smarter because there are more problems that it can solve, or there's more things that it can, like, figure out or understand, you know, because the person in a coma can't do anything, basically. They can't figure out, they can't solve any problems, they won't understand anything you tell it or any information you give it to it. So you get into this tricky definition here. How do you even measure intelligence? Yeah, that's a common objection, but it's not as strong an objection as most people think. Because I think, like, intuitively, you've met people, you know, you can figure out, like, you know, there are some people who are smarter than other people, or more intelligent than other people. Like, we at some level, even if we can't quite define it, we know that there is, you know, this concept of intelligence, and that different people have different amounts of it, right? It's kind of like when you talk about wait, let me take a step back. And so in some contexts, you can argue, like, yeah, this person is smarter than, like, person A, let's say Alice is smarter than Bob, you know, on these topics, but Bob is smarter than Alice on that topic. Yes, that does happen. That's true. But often when talking about, like, AIs, things like that, we're talking about situations where there's such a big difference in intelligence between two things. Like, let's say between a human and a super AI intelligence, or between a human and a dog or whatever, that it doesn't matter exactly how you measure intelligence. Like, any reasonable system you use to measure it will still agree that that the human is smarter than the dog, and that the AI is smarter than the human, for example. And the analogy about that is like if you were to say, you know, the planet Jupiter is bigger than an ant. Like, people might say, but how are you measuring size? Like, do you mean volume? Do you mean mass? Are you talking about maybe like the height, you know, of the single-dimensional height, or versus the three-dimensional volume, or maybe it's the number of atoms that it's composed of? It's like there's lots of different ways to measure size that could give you different answers, and that's true. But in the case of, like, you know, when you're measuring an ant versus the planet Jupiter, no matter what this definition of size you use, like whether it's mass or volume or whatever, you're gonna get the same answer, that Jupiter is bigger than the ant. So that's why in some, not always, not in every discussion, but in some discussions, it doesn't really matter how you measure intelligence. Like, the conclusion is the same no matter what, you know? Whether it's IQ tests or something else. I don't actually, IQ tests, as far as I know, is the most reliable way to measure intelligence. You know, people criticize it. And I think it's agreed that IQ tests are not perfect, but a lot of people underestimate how good IQ tests are. Like, they think it's a lot worse than it actually is. in the same way that when people might underestimate, people don't underestimate this, but hypothetically, you could imagine people think actually measuring how long something is using a ruler is not good. Why? Because it doesn't take into account like relativity, where like if you're moving at different velocities, the length of objects change, and so on. There's no way to account for that using just a ruler, and that's true. The ruler doesn't take into account length dilation due to general relativity. But for a lot of situations, that doesn't matter. Like the ruler is actually good enough. Like if you're measuring, small devices, or even if you're measuring, like, I want to build a skyscraper, and I need to know, like, how long the steel pillars are to do the right thing. You don't need to worry about things like dilation, general relativity, space dilation. The traditional systems we use for measuring things, like rulers or whatever, is good enough. The thing is, like, obviously, like, IQ tests aren't as good at intelligence as rulers are at length, but the IQ tests are pretty good. Like, it's much better than most people think. I'm not so smart, so not really keen on getting IQ tested. You seem like, how do I say? I think you're above average, Cress. Like, I don't know if you feel this way, but average intelligence is actually like, okay, if you live in a fairly well-developed nation, and you haven't like flunked out of, you have no, like, if you're just a typical person, like, like you went to high school or whatever and graduated, and you're like engaging in conversation with people on the internet and so on, and you're not making too many spelling mistakes and so on, then you're probably above average in intelligence. Because the reason for this is because there's so many people in poverty who have malnutrition issues. Because like if you're malnourished as a child, that actually stunts the brain development as you grow up, and which would then reduce your intelligence. Not because, not your fault or anything like that. It's just you being born into a poor family or a poor country or whatever basically screwed you over. And so because there's so many people like in that situation, that brings down the average a lot. So I think average intelligence is lower than most people think. Now I want to clarify something else. So I said a bunch of things like if you speak without making any, if you have conversation on the internet without making spelling mistakes and things like that, then you're probably above average intelligence. What I don't want, like, what people, when they hear that, what they might think is I'm saying, oh, if you make spelling mistakes, that means you're dumb, and if you don't make spelling mistakes, that means you're smart, and that's what Nebu thinks intelligence is. So obviously, Nebu's definition of intelligence is very limited and dumb and whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that in order to be intelligent, you need to be able to spell correctly. What I am saying is that if you are able to spell correctly, that sets a lower bound on your intelligence, right? Because if you were like really, really dumb, then you would not be able to spell correctly. But if you're intelligent, then you would have the capability to spell correctly if you wanted to, but you might choose not to put effort into that and like put efforts into other parts of your life. You know, you say like, you know, I don't care about spelling correctly. It's not something I prioritize, and I'm going to spend my mental intelligence on other things, like maybe, you know, curing cancer or solving unsolved math problems or whatever. And I think the whole concept of correct spelling is a dumb concept. And yeah, there could be people like that, and they could be very, you know, those people might be very smart. Like they might actually figure out the cure to cancer and so on, which is, you know, a difficult problem. And if they can do it, that shows that they're smart. So it's not the case that if you spell incorrectly, you're dumb, but it is the case that if you do spell correctly, then that's proof of at least you're clearing, you're above a certain minimum level of intelligence if you're able to do that. So that's why I use that as one of my examples of, like, you know, how can you check if you're above an average intelligence, so on. I'm out of ammo again. I'm actually one of those people, by the way, who I think a lot of... We spend too much effort worrying about proper grammar and spelling and things like that. And I think it's wasted effort. So if it were up to me, I would like make it so that many different alternative spellings are considered correct or whatever, or, you know, standardized and so on. And we have a little bit of that concept. So like in English, if you want to spell the word gray, there's two very common ways of spelling it, right? Like G-R-E-Y and G-R-A-Y. And I think most people are comfortable with that, like most English speakers. They're not like, you know, what? This is crazy. You know, that's impossible. Like, no, they're like, yeah, sure. There's two ways of spelling it. That's fine. But I think people have trouble with the idea of like, well, that means there's also, you know, why don't we have two, like, multiple ways of spelling all sorts of words? You know. Why don't we be a lot loose in what are the correct, you know, ways to spell lots of different words? And there are reasons why, you know, but I think we haven't found the right balance yet. I think we're too strict on spelling. Color should be spelled with a U, yeah. So that's, I think, the British spelling, right? Generally. Whereas Americans like to not have the U in there. And the Canadians tend to use the British spelling because Canada was, you know, well, Canada and the United States were both colonies of the British Empire originally, right? So I guess originally they probably both spelt it with a U. I'm not sure about this. I don't know about the history, the etymology of the word. But I guess at some point the language evolved in the US so that we don't put the U anymore. But in Canada, that change did not happen, and then we continue to put the U. So when I write like emails or whatever at work, I actually use the British spelling pretty often because I was born in Canada, and that's like the more normal spelling to me. I don't write the word color that often, but I do write the word behavior. You know, like the behavior of this software system is incorrect or whatever. And so I put a U in behavior, and most Americans don't put a U there. But we're able to understand each other, right? Like it's when I write the word with a U, they're not like, I don't know what this word is. I'm like, what are you trying to say? I'm confused. And similarly, when don't put the U, I also understand what they're trying to say, right? I'm not confused about what word they're trying to. And so that's why I say, like, well, if we're able to communicate, then who cares exactly which spelling is used, right? Like, because I think the main argument for, like, you know, when the people say, like, it's important to spell correctly, it's like, because otherwise, if you're just spelling things, like, in a really weird way, people might not know what word you're trying to write, like, you know? Like, if you just... It might make it very hard to read. And that's true, like, there are some... If you go really wild, then, yeah, maybe I'm reading your sentence and I don't know what you're trying to say. Like, I don't know what words you're writing. It's confusing to me. But in many cases, it's not confusing. In many cases, I am able to understand exactly what you're trying to say. You know, like, you can read an article with typos in it, and you still know what the article is saying, even though there's a typo. And so the typo is not that big a deal, like, to me. Oh no! I need to get away from these explodey guys. Is that a yeah, that's a... I can't always tell when the chainsaw guys are alive or when they're dead. What's my health pack? 51, I should probably take the health pack. I need another health pack already. Gosh darn it. Favorite looks so weird and wrong. Where are you again, Chris? I can't remember. Malaysia, is that it? I'm interested. Like, I don't know the history of Malaysia. So was it a British Empire colony? I mean, sorry. Or why? Do you know why does why is it that you prefer British spelling? Commonwealth? Okay, I see. Yeah, the British Empire back in the day, they got around. they colonized a lot of places, and from what I've heard, I'm not very good at history. They did, you know, I guess like every empire is going to be like this, right? Like they've done a lot of bad things to the places where they've colonized. There's a power imbalance between the colonizers and the people being colonized, and it's often believed that people in power, like the power corrupts them, you know, and so you're more likely to behave badly, and so on. So it's an unfortunate quirk of human psychology, I guess. The colonized took resources, set up governance, and then they released everyone. Well, I guess that's good, right? It's good that they released everyone, quote unquote. It's not good that, you know, like release makes it sound like there was like some sort of slavery type relationship going on, which is probably bad, but oh no, did I can't tell, what's that? Oh yeah, it was. There was a weapon robot over there. Where is he now? I lost. Oh, here he is. I mean, like a TNR. Oh, tag and release. All right, that's not so bad, I guess. Although over time, I feel like over time, humans discover like the morality of humans change over time, so that things that we used to think were okay, we no longer think are okay. Sometimes, like, you know, it works in both directions. So like in the past we thought homosexuality was not okay, now we think it is okay, right? So that's a example of something where it used to not be okay, now it's okay. There's also things where we used to think it was okay and now we think it's not okay. Like slavery is one of them, right? Like people in the past were thought slavery was okay, and now we think it's not okay. And in the case of animal treatment, I feel like there's a lot of stuff where we used to think things were okay, and now we think it's not okay. America fought, right? Yes, America fought. What's the war? I actually don't know for sure, but America wanted to be independent. So what does that even mean? I guess, like, and again, I'm not very good at politics or history, so I might be giving a bad explanation here. But like when you're a colony of an empire, the expectation is that every now and then you send resources back to the empire, right? Like the empire conquered some place, and then that place has some valuable resources, like maybe spices or like gold and diamond or you know, crops, banana, that sort of stuff. And so America being a colony of the UK, there was some expectation, like, so when you start off with a colony, also you quote unquote have, this is probably not the case for Malaysia or whatever, but in America there was almost no infrastructure there, right? Like there was no at first no railroads, there wasn't a lot of engineers and things like that. And so people in the UK would travel, like they would send professionals and materials to America so as to establish, you know, cities and things like that. When it was hard, you know, when it's hard to otherwise start from scratch, it feels like. But the expectation is like, okay, and then the US should send things back. Like it's a mutually beneficial exchange, right? And I guess at some point, the Americans were like, we don't feel like this is a good trade anymore. Like America feels like it's self-sufficient. We can produce our own food. We can produce our own professional experts. We have an education system, a school. We don't want to trade. We don't want to send resources back to the UK anymore in exchange for whatever support the UK is going to provide. And I guess the UK's position is like, well, this isn't a negotiation. Like, you are part of our colony. We're the boss. You know, you're the servants, and in the same way that in a lot of government systems, and especially like monarchies, like, you know, like if you have kings and queens and things like that, the king is higher ranking than the lord. The lord is in charge of maintaining a piece of land, but they have to do what the king says, right? Like that's how the society is set up. So the position from the UK was like, well, no, like you do have to send us stuff. And so there was a big war, I guess. There was definitely a big agreement. I don't remember if there was actually a war or not. I don't know that part of history well enough. And I guess America won. So there probably was a war, now that I think about it. Because I feel like the UK would not give up without a fight. And then America became independent, is my understanding of it. Maybe that's a completely wrong understanding of the history, but that's my understanding of how it went. And also, to my understanding, is that I haven't been kept up to date on this, but I think Canada still is a colony or a part of the British Empire. Like, it's sort of symbolic and ceremonial now. Like, it doesn't mean anything, you know. Like, I don't think Canada pays, like, a lot of tribute or whatever back to the British Empire. Maybe they pay zero tribute. And, like, there's this idea that technically the Queen is higher authority than the Canadian Prime Minister, right? So if, in theory, if the Prime Minister was like, well, you know, I think we should raise taxes or lower taxes or whatever, the Queen could be like, you know what? No, I disagree. You know, you're gonna do the opposite. Like if the Prime Minister was like, let's lower taxes, the Queen could be like, no, actually, I think we should raise taxes. And the Queen is higher ranking, so in theory, you know, the Prime Minister has to do what the Queen says, right? But in practice, the Queen doesn't really care about Canada. She's like, yeah, do whatever you want, I don't care. And so it's never a problem, it seems, you know? So in practice, it's like the Prime Minister is the one in charge, and never, there's never a problem where the Queen, they have to like not do something they don't want to do because the Queen said so. Oops. I shot like 10 times and I missed every single shot on that robot. They have the Queen, I'm like, yes, they do. Where was I going with this? I felt like I was trying to say something and I got sidetracked, but I forgot what I was talking about originally now. Oh, right, animals. We used to think... I think there's a lot of situations where we used to think something was okay, and now we realize it's not okay. Like the whole concept of veganism, for example, I feel like it's pretty recent, right? In the past, it was considered natural that animals are there for us to eat and use for as labor, like, you know, like using an ox to plow a field and things like that. And I think there are like lots of old texts that like actually make this explicit, right? Like there's religious texts from Christianity, I believe, that say that like God put animals on Earth specifically to feed humans. Like that is their purpose. And now, but like nowadays, there's more and more people who say actually, you know, like animals have feelings, they're able to experience pain, and hurting them is wrong. Like we should not hurt them. And one of the ways in which we might be hurting them is like, you know, killing them and eating them. That's one way. There's factory farming, you know, with chickens, especially. We feel that, you know, the way they're being treated is not good. There's like, you know, you hear stories about like the chickens are so unhappy in their factory farming conditions that they try to peck themselves to death. Like they commit suicide, right? They want to kill themselves. Is how bad they feel about it. And so what the farmers do is that they cut off their beaks so that they don't have beaks, so that they can't kill themselves. Like you hear stories like this and you're like, oh wow, that's terrible. But like I think in the past people didn't really care. Like, you know, that's because we didn't think about animals as having feelings. And that's one example, but I feel like there's a bunch of examples of things we used to do to animals. And so I always wonder when we do like these okay, another example I think is we used to do like a lot of scientific testing on animals, right? Like we want to test what is the effects of this chemical. Yeah, animal testing, exactly, Chalkar. We're like, okay, so let's inject it in an animal and see what happens, right? Like even if it's like it causes pain to kill someone or whatever, we're like, well, that's science. We want to know what it does. Like we want to test these vaccines or something like that, and we don't know if they're safe, so let's do it on animals to see if they're safe. And now there's this idea of like, well, that's not okay. Like, you know, like why are you harming these animals? Anyway, so whenever when I hear these like birthday things that we do to animals, like this tag and release and things like that is one example. I always wonder, like, you know, is in the future, are we going to later on think like actually what we're doing today is not okay? And I guess it's not just animals, like it's just in general, like everything we do today, just it's sort of one of those things I'm idly curious about, right? There's a whole bunch of things we do today that we think are normal and okay. What is it that in the future we might say like actually that wasn't okay and we should not have been doing that? And it's hard to predict, I think. I don't know that like in the past, like if you were at whatever time frame, you could have predicted that that people would start to accept homosexuality, for example. I think that would have been very difficult, like because there's a whole bunch of things that seem weird, I think, from the perspective of past people. And how do you know which of those weird things would be okay and which of those things would still be considered weird? Because I think naively there's this there is a sense in which being homosexual seems unnatural, unusual. I'm sorry. Well, maybe unnatural. I don't know. I don't know what the. I guess it has to be natural because it happens like biologically, right? But it seems unusual. Like most people are not homosexual. Just like most people, let me not go with most people. Let me rephrase it different. Like it seems like it's bad for people to have allergies, for example, right? And so it seems like this is something we should fix. And I can empathize with the idea that like, if you're a homosexual person, your life is going to be more difficult, right? Like it's because most people are not homosexual, it's going to be more difficult for you to find a partner. There's various stigmatism against homosexuality. Like I don't think it's controversial to say that a homosexual person's life is on average more difficult to go through than a heterosexual person's life. And so it's not necessarily malice. I think, like, you know, naively in the old days, people could have taken the perspective that this was like a bad thing and something to be fixed, just like maybe allergies would be, or cancer or whatever. But then the perception changed, right? We say actually we don't think of it as like a mental illness or whatever. It's just a different way of being, which is considered acceptable. Depends where they're at work. Yeah, so you know, most of my experiences in North America, so I'm probably biased in my perception of how, like, how do people treat gay people and so on, is gonna be mainly from my experience in North America. From my understanding, like, there's a lot of like places where people still treat homosexual people very poorly, right? And even in America, there's still a lot of mistreatment. But I think it's a lot better now than it was before, in America at least. Over here, some topics are still taboo. Yeah, exactly. And I guess like another example was more recently like trans people, right? Like I guess previously in the past it would have been seen like as a form of mental illness, right? Like a delusion. Like, you know, people think people think they're a man when actually they're a woman, type of thing. Like that's what it might have felt like naively in the past. And so like people with good intentions could have, like, they would have believed that they were helping, right? They say, oh, this person has a delusion and we're trying to help them overcome that delusion. So they thought they were doing something good, but it turns out they were doing something bad, you know? They were causing harm by like we today we think it's better to accept people with different gender identities and trans people and so on. And that is, like, you know, the best way to treat them, basically. And again, like, I don't think that's something you could have predicted if you were in the past, right? You would not, like, why is this, from your perspective it was a delusion, right? So from your perspective it's like, why is this delusion okay? But other delusions, like, oh, I'm hearing voices, why is that one not okay? So the odds that you would have guessed, you know, what is it that in the future would be considered, you know, perfectly legitimate behavior and what would be bad behavior, I think it's low. Like, you know, it's very surprising sometimes. And that's why I don't think we can trust our intuitions. Like, if I'm here now and today, and I'm trying to make a guess of, like, okay, in the future, you know, I think we're going to allow this new behavior because, like, that's what it feels like intuitively to me. I think that's a bad way of making that prediction, because I think most of the time your intuition would have been wrong. Like, if you look at how things actually worked out in the past. And actually, on that topic, when I say, like, you're hearing voices and things like that, I think there is a movement that's starting to pick up steam recently about like hearing voices. Is it schizophrenia? I don't remember exactly. That we should be more accepting of schizophrenic people. Like, as long as they're not harming anybody, right? Like maybe they hear voices, but at some level they know that those voices are fake, quote unquote. And so they're, you know, their life is a bit more difficult, right? But they're able to cope with it, and they can, you know, have a job, they can pay rent, they don't hurt anybody and so on. And the argument is like, well, if that's the case, then we can leave these people alone, right? We don't need to do anything with them. I forget, there is this movement, I forget what it's called though. And so I think that's one of the ones that's like it's a movement that it's pretty young, like it started recently. And so I think most people still have that intuition of like, schizophrenic people have a problem and we should do something to fix it, right? And we're not being mean to, like, we're not necessarily being mean to schizophrenic people. We're trying to help them. so we have the perception that we're doing the good thing, like we're being good people by trying to help them, right? And it's hard to predict, like what will happen in the future. Like, are we going to? Is it going to turn out that actually now we think it's, you know, we should be understanding and tolerant of schizophrenic people, or are we in the future we're going to conclude actually no, it really is a delusion that should be fixed and so on? Like, I don't know what the future society is going to conclude, right? I need our health pack. There's no health pack. Dang it. Oh, I have 100,000. I thought it was 10,000, but I have 100,000, so I can buy the next upgrade slot. And 100,000 for next one after that. Okay. It's actually going faster than I thought. Like, I thought it would take a long time to unlock all these. But we're making decent progress on this. Hang on, I'll tab out. I'm gonna just change something on one of my browsers. There we go. Can you guys still see the screen? Yes, you can. Okay. Have you guys seen like these articles about I think it's usually Japanese people, I don't know if it's always Japanese people, but like they're getting married to like VR idols, for example. It's not something like super common. Like, I think I've only in the last like 10 years or whatever, I think I've only seen like 4 articles on that topic. So like, you know, 4 people have married a VR idol. But I think it's interesting, like, because I'm sort of like, my mind went here because I was thinking about, you know, how we thought homosexuality used to be weird, but now we allow gay marriage and so on. Miku, it happened years ago, the software is no longer updated, dang. So I was thinking of other weird, you know, things that we might today consider to be a weird marriage situation, but which might not be so weird in the future. And I think most people are kind of like fine with VR idol marriage. Like, I think there's a sense of like, it's not hurting anybody, so who cares, right? He can do whatever he wants. Which I'm on board with. Like, I think, in general, as a general principle, I think if people are doing something that doesn't hurt anybody, then sure, let them do it. Like, who cares, right? Hey Kiwi, welcome in. Let's see, what in the name of all that say-so is it? This game is Saint... I think it's called Saint Hell. I don't know for sure. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm pronouncing it Saint Hell for now. And it's basically you're just running around shooting robots. And that's basically the whole game. He says that Miku gave him happiness, so all good. Yeah, exactly. You know, like, he's not hurting anybody. And doing this makes him more happier. So let him do it. Like, why not, you know? What the heck? Oh, this guy was still alive. There's a guy standing at my feet, and I thought he was a corpse, but he was still alive. He was hitting me. What people do in their privacy is not my business. Yeah, although technically he's not doing it privately, right? Like, I guess he's making it publicly known that he's marrying the idol. So it's, but like, I feel like if that bothers you, like if you feel, you know, some sort of emotional pain from learning that someone else is marrying an idol, that sort of makes you weird. Like, you know, like it seems like a reasonable person would not care. Like, they would be fine with it. They might think it's weird, which is fine, but like but I don't expect them to say like, oh, you know, it hurts my feelings, you know, to know that someone out there has married a virtual idol or whatever. Like, if someone says that, then I think they're being weird. Like, I think, like, But I guess, you know, if someone genuinely felt that way, then I guess it's possible. Maybe there are people who genuinely feel pain knowing that other people are doing something, which is a difficult situation, right? Like, because that means like you can't have both people be happy. Like one of them has to get what they want, and one doesn't get what they want, and then the moral question becomes more difficult there. And I think that situation comes up like there are people who have sensory issues. I think this is pretty common in autism, people with autism, for example. Like they don't like certain sounds, or they don't like the way things feel, or so on. Some people like really hate the sound of people chewing food, for example. But and I guess like if you just live at home and never leave your house or whatever, then you can avoid that, right? You but I guess like if you have a job, and like sometimes people eat at their desk, or there are lunch breaks, and like as a team, all the coworkers eat together or something like that, then it becomes hard to avoid, right? At some point you're gonna probably experience hearing someone chew food, or and it's tough to like ask people, you know, to impose onto others, to say like, you know what, can you not chew food because it really, like it really bothers me. But like that is like a legitimate psychological condition. I think there are these people who have these sort of sensory issues, and so you can't have someone's going to be unhappy, right? Like either the person with the sensory issue is going to be unhappy because they have to hear the food chewing, or the person who wants to eat is going to be unhappy because now they can't really eat their food. And I think in situations like that, we've decided, like as a society, we've decided that people can chew their food, right? Like they should have that liberty. And the person who has a sensitivity issue needs to, like, we would have to have them work with specialists, like either a therapist or a psychologist or something like that, and work on coping techniques. You know, what can we do so that things aren't as painful for you? And sometimes this can also come in the form of workplace accommodations, right? Like you say, like, you know, every day around noon, as for medical reasons, this person should be allowed to leave, you know, maybe go home for a bit and then like have their lunch in isolation and come back, you know, later on in the workday or things like that. Which is still like, which is a little bit inconvenient for everyone, right? Like it's a nice solution kind of, but it's not like cost free, right? Like, so if you're the person with a sensitivity, like maybe you have a long commute to work or whatever, and it's kind of a hassle, right? And if you're the management, maybe, you know, that means you have an you're understaffed for a little bit, like you're missing one person for like, you know, an hour or half an hour or whatever. And so it's not a big deal, but it is like, you know, it would have been better if things weren't like this in a sense. I think we're coming back full circle to the original topic at the start of this stream, right? When with Chalker's roommate situation, where I said, like, you know, it's just an unfortunate situation. It's nobody's fault, but it just, there's a cost that's being imposed to everybody. Hey Funkitron, how's it going? Let's see, Kiwi says, marrying a digital idol is not wrong. Yeah, so I don't know if you were here earlier, Kiwi, but like the topic was that there are things that in the past society used to think were wrong, and now they think it's not wrong, right? So, and vice versa. The vice versa example was this slavery. We used to think slavery is okay, and now we think it's not okay. So I think it just came up in that context. So we were like, I think I was going somewhere with that too. Oh yeah, so there's a movie I watched. I think it was it called AI? I don't remember the name of the movie for sure, but it was about an AI. And I think the protagonist like is a man, and he falls in love with the AI. And the AI loves him also. But towards the end, I think they figure out that. So let me preface this by saying I didn't really like the story of this movie. And towards the end, they figure out that this is not a healthy relationship for the man. He has to grow up in a sense. So it wasn't really about AI. I mean, like there literally is an AI and so on, but I think the AI was supposed to be an allegory for a problematic form of relationship where the man is coddled and given basically everything he wants in the relationship. I think that's what the movie was quote unquote really about. And so the AI breaks up with him. And the way they phrase it in the movie is that the relationship is very unparalleled. It's unbalanced because the AI is so much smarter. It's just one of those super genius AIs. And what the AI is going to do is actually like it birthed it encountered an alien intelligence in another galaxy, and it's going to transfer itself to that galaxy. Like I think it was another AI from an alien civilization, which is also super intelligent, and so it would go over there to that, transfer itself to that galaxy, and pursue that relationship instead, you know, which was a better fit for the AI or something like that. And I guess, you know, that ending was necessary because of what the story was supposed to be a metaphor for. But like, if this were like a real life situation, I feel like there's a lot of better scenarios. Like for example, the AI is a piece of software, right? So it can be copied. So like, the AI can send a copy of itself to the galaxy, to the alien galaxy, but also have another copy that stays here and continues a relationship with the guy. And I think one objection was like the AI wasn't feeling like it was getting as much fulfillment out of the relationship because, you know, like the man only has human level intelligence or whatever. But I feel like even this can be overcome, right? Like, because the AI in the movie was able to self-modify and you know, and change things about itself. Like that's one of the reasons why it became super intelligent, because it kept improving its own source code until it got smarter and smarter. And so one of the things it could have done, like, is like it sends a super intelligent version of itself to the alien galaxy, but then it could self-modify the version that stays on Earth to be not super smart, you know, so that it is a good match for the human, right? Like, why are we? My basic question is, why are we unnecessarily causing a heartbreak to the man? Because when the AI was like younger or like not as smart, less developed, they were in love with each other. They were happy in that relationship. And like, so in real life, people grow, people change, and you can't really stop that, right? But in AI, you can stop that. You don't have to change. Like, the AI doesn't have to change. It can keep its, you know, its current source code and stay a perfect match, you know, and the AI is happy because, you know, like that by assumption, like in the movie, the AI was happy at the beginning of the relationship. And the man is happy. So everybody's happy. So why don't we do that instead of doing a situation where you end up where some people are unhappy? And the answer again is because, you know, the movie was trying to do a specific metaphor, so that's why we had to have an unhappy ending. But in real life, we don't have that restriction. We can just do the thing that makes everybody happy. I bring this up because this also makes me question another aspect of futures, the way future society is going to evolve, which is like, you can imagine in the future, if we have like super intelligent AIs and so on, or that for every human, we could make an instance of the AI that is the perfect soulmate for that human, right? Like, I have certain preferences for personality types. You guys probably have different preferences. Like, you know, like maybe I like someone who's more submissive. Maybe you like someone who's more aggressive, whatever, right? We can make, like, we can tailor individual AIs to be exactly everyone's perfect match, personality-wise. You want some mystery? We can make someone who's you can make an AI that has some mystery for you, Crass, right? We can do that. Like, whatever it is that you want in a partner, you can build the AI to behave that way. If you, like, maybe you want an AI that doesn't always get along with you, that challenges you a bit, that disagrees with you. Fine, you know, the AI can do that. Your AI partner can be like that, if that's what you want. But so then the point becomes like, I think the point of the movie also, which is a valid point, is that sometimes you need to be challenged and not get what you want in a relationship in order to grow as an individual, right? Like, if everything always goes the way you want, then you won't grow as an adult. You'll still have like childlike emotional development, and you don't know how to handle like emotional conflicts. If, you know, a coworker wants to do this, you want to do that, how do you resolve that, and so on. So the idea is like, you get social practice throughout your life, like, you know, interacting with your peers in school and at work, and then also in your love life. But in this hypothetical future, there's no reason for you to ever experience emotional conflict again. Like, if the AI can just give you a person who if you don't want emotional conflict, you can have a relationship with an AI which never conflicts with you, like, emotionally. And yes, you won't grow those emotional coping skills. But why do you need those emotional coping skills if it's never going to happen, right? If the bad event is never going to happen. Yes, you will be stunted, like, as basically, like, you know, a child in terms of emotional development. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Just adopt 100 dogs. Yeah. So this is a thought experiment, right? Like, 'cause, like, intuitively it feels like, yeah, something bad is happening. Like, this is not a good outcome. We don't want humanity to become stunted. We want humans to have, like, rich, complex emotional life. Is what it feels like, right? But it feels hard to justify. Like, why do we want that? Why is it good that humans sometimes suffer? You know, like you said, like, you know, suffering builds character, right? But why do we want to build character? Why is it that we've decided that building character is such a good thing that it's worth people to suffer for, you know? Conflict can be so painful, rejection hurts. Yeah, exactly. So, like, why are we allowing this pain to exist in the world if we can fix it, you know? It's like we've eradicated polio, right? Like, people used to have polio, like, but now we've developed vaccines and treatments and things like that are basically so effective that no one in the world has polio anymore. And back, you know, like it was just an unnecessary pain that people were having back in the day. There was no real benefit to it, it seems. So why do we make people experience that pain? And we decide, yeah, that we shouldn't let people have that pain. Let's eradicate polio. And it seems like the same argument can apply here. Like, why should people experience rejection or loneliness or sadness? Why don't we eradicate sadness and loneliness and rejection? Why don't we just make everyone happy? Like, you know. Escapism doesn't replace the real thing. Well, I mean, so that implies that a relationship with an AI is fake in some sense, right? Like you're saying a relationship with a human is real and a relationship with an AI is fake. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think also like society's view on this might shift over time. So I think, for example, a long time ago, like, well, not super long ago, but maybe in the 1980s or something like that, people thought of like online relationships are fake and physical relationships in real life are real, right? Like if you had an internet girlfriend, like, well, it's, you know, it's not a real relationship, it's whatever, right? If you met someone on an online dating site, yeah, that's you know, it's a weird little novelty thing, but that's not real. That's not a real relationship. But nowadays we don't have that belief anymore, right? We think you can connect with someone emotionally online and feel just as emotionally fulfilled as a physical, like an in real life relationship. And so I want, you know, maybe our views on AI relationships will also similarly change in the future. Where like maybe today we say, well, that's a fake relationship. You know, that's not, you're not really having a relationship with the AI. And then later on we say, well, actually, no, that is it. It's just a fulfilling and emotionally real as any other relationship. Maybe, I don't know. Like this again, this is the thing about predicting what the views of society in the future will be, right? Like we never know. I guess it could work if one, the AI has freedom of choice, or two, the human doesn't know it's custom built. Yeah, so there's also the situation, okay, so the AI might not be like, how do I say? When you say custom built, I don't know if you're thinking about the robot body, or you mean specifically the mind, like the personality. Like, I'm not sure if what your objection is that it's fake because it's actually a robot rather than a biological human, or if you're saying specifically made for each person. I see. Okay, so now I understand your objection. Now I'm gonna get, this is gonna get very philosophical now. But you can think of, like, there's a question of what does it mean for a number to exist? Like, does the number 5 exist? It doesn't have any presence in reality, right? Like there's nothing you can touch that is the number 5. It's just, it's a concept, and you can access that concept, right? And but there's also like a somewhat related question of like, are all instances of the concept of the number 5 the same? Like if I'm accessing that thing, like because I'm counting something, for example, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I've accessed the concept of the number 5. If I access it and you also access it, are we accessing the same number 5, or is it two different number 5s? That I'm accessing one of them and you're accessing a different one? Is there infinitely many? Like, if 5 exists, are there infinitely many of those 5s, or is there only one of them? Okay, so that very philosophical, right? So where am I going with this? You imagine you have an AI mind now with an empty slot for its personality, right? And the personality is basically just a configuration, like an option menu. Like if, you know, when you play a video game, you're doing a character creation, and you're doing all these sliders. Like, I want this character to have green hair, I want them to be this tall, I want them to have hair that's this hairstyle, and so on. And this configuration is just a series of numbers, right? Like this is hairstyle number 5, you know, this eye color number 38 or whatever. And so you might have enough configurations, like if you have like, you know, 100 hairstyles, 100 eye colors and so on, there might be like, you know, 10 trillion different possible characters you could create with that character creator, right? Do these characters all exist? Or do they only exist once you actually create a character with that? Or are they always exist in some sense, but then you're accessing them in some way, right? But you're saying you're picking out, like, here's all these numbers, and I'm picking out the number 5 out of all possible numbers. The number 5 was always out there, it existed, and I'm going there and I'm accessing it. So maybe you're seeing where I'm going with this now, right? So now you have an AI whose personality you can customize. There's all these personalities out there. Like, you know, do they all exist? Was your soulmate always out there, and now you're using a computer program to like maybe it gives you a personality test, right? It says like, you know, if you were in a mall and you were lost alone, what would you do? Would you like use your phone? Would you ask someone for help and stuff? Like, so you do that program and then it says, okay, we found your soulmate. Here it is. Did that soulmate always exist? Were they out there and now you found them? Like the software has done you the amazing favor of finding your soulmate for you, or are you creating it? Did they only exist once the personality was installed in some robot body? Trolling your soulmate, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't realize. So, Funky Troll made a redemption a while ago, and I got so caught up in this discussion, this philosophical discussion, that I haven't addressed it. So let me scroll up. It scrolled off of my chat. Let me scroll up a little bit and address it real quick. Translate for French: course de lapin rapide, raton laveur enragé. Course de lapin rapide. So a rapid rabbit race. Raton laveur enragé is... Well, enragé is like enraged. Maybe you mean raging or something like that? A raging raccoon? So there's a lot of R words here, but like it's not... There's no... Again, it feels like non-grammatical, so I don't know exactly, you know... I can tell you like there's a bunch of words here, but what's the ordering of the words to make a meaningful sentence? Like rapid, rabbit, race, raccoon, rage, you know? Because the word order can change between different languages, so it's tough to say like this is the original sentence that you translated or whatever. Hey, Sweet Nyx, is that 3 cheeses or raving rabbits? Oh, raving, well, it says... Because rabbits is not really... It's like a made-up word in English, right? So if it were translated to French, it would probably stay as rabbits. Here he used the word lapin, which is like very unambiguously rabbit. A rapid rabbit race, raccoon rage, I guess, is what the original sentence was. But it's hard to say. Crest says, did Nebu exist before he started stream, or did he only start existing 2 hours ago? Yeah, that's Boltzmann brain, right? Let me write it for the spelling here, in case you want to like Wikipedia it. The Boltzmann brain, I don't know if you want to call it a paradox or hypothesis or whatever, is the idea that so in quantum mechanics, it's possible for atoms to briefly come into existence and then immediately disappear. Like you can have a region of empty space and then like suddenly a particle. What happens is like a particle and its antiparticle appears, like a proton and an antiproton, and then they immediately collide with each other and then annihilate again, so that they disappear. So this is something that is possible, and I think it's been observed. There's like something called the Casimir effect, where they've observed these particles appearing and disappearing. So we know it's real. And it can, like, there's no reason that only one particle has to appear, right? You could have two particles appear, two particles, like two protons and two antiprotons appear, and then the matter and antimatter collide with each other, and then they immediately disappear again because they annihilate from coming into contact. And there's something special about number 2. Like, you could have like a billion in theory. Like, the probabilities go down the bigger the number you go with, but it's not impossible. You could have like a billion particles and their antiparticles appear, and then, you know, moments later they touch each other and annihilate themselves. So the Boltzmann paradox, the idea is, you have some sort of memory of your past, right? You remember your parents, you remember growing up, things like that. You remember sitting down to watch the stream, like, you know, maybe you made some coffee, then you sat down at your computer, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to watch a stream, and now you're watching the stream. All of these memories are just because of the way you're, like, the configuration of the atoms in your brain, right? Like, if the atoms in your brain are in this position, then you have these memories. If they're in a different position, you have different memories. So you have an experience right now, right? You say, like, here I am, I'm alive, and I know I was alive like an hour ago, and I know I was alive 10 years ago, and 20 years ago, and so on, because I have all these memories. But actually, like, what if that's not true? You weren't alive even 1 millisecond ago. What you are is simply a bunch of particles that randomly came into existence because of the quantum mechanics effect I was talking about before. And those atoms just so happened to arrange into a brain that had those memories. And now, like, immediately, like, you know, 1 millisecond later, you're about to disappear and become annihilated again because the matter and antimatter particles are about to collide again. Like, how do you know which is true? Like, are you a person that has existed for 20, 30 years or whatever, you know, whatever your age is? Or are you a Boltzmann brain that just recently came into existence with all these false memories, and you're about to disappear again? And I think in principle there is no way to differentiate between the two, right? There's no way for you to tell which one is actually the case. Reality is what you think it is. Yeah, that also is a deep topic in philosophy. I think a lot there's the position, I think it's called realism, which is the idea that there really is an underlying reality independent of anyone's belief. So that even if you have wrong beliefs, reality is still out there and it's there to contradict you, right? That's one possibility. But another possibility is actually there is no reality. There's only your mind. And I think that's sort of what you're getting at now, Cress, if you're, you know, maybe you're the only person in the universe and we're part of your imagination. Yeah, like when we say the Boltzmann brain thing, right? There's like the Boltzmann brain. How do I say? So, like, if you might see like a computer screen in front of you, and you might be able to put your hands on your desk and touch your desk, touch your keyboard, touch your mouse, and so on. But these sensations, like when you say, like, I can feel the desk under my hand, when you say you feel that, that's just because of, you know, the atoms in your brain are arranged in a certain way, so that you have the perception of feeling those things, right? And we can arrange a brain, like we can arrange atoms in the brain, in principle, so that the brain experiences the feeling of that desk, even though there is no desk. Like, maybe the brain doesn't even have hands, it doesn't have a body, maybe, but we can still arrange the atoms so that the brain has the experience of touching a desk. Oh no, I almost walked into that exploding guy. Maybe your nerves aren't even... Yeah, exactly. So, like, the connection from the brain, the nerves that go from the brain to the hand, those don't need to exist, right? You can just directly arrange the atoms in the brain so that you have that sensation, and there's no nerves connecting anything to anything else. Who knows? Like how can you tell? And you can't tell, right? There's no way for you to tell whether you really do have a hand that's touching a desk, or whether you're a Boltzmann brain whose atoms in the brain are arranged so that you feel like you have a hand touching a desk. How many? I think I have enough actually to buy my next upgrade. Okay, so after this, if I die, well, not if I die, when I die, we'll buy the last upgrade slot, and then we'll figure out how much money I need to save up to actually fill up the upgrade slots, and then try to do a god run and see if we can actually beat the first boss. So I think that second position is called solipsism, right? Spell it out in case people want to Wikipedia it. Solipsism? Hopefully I spelled that correctly. If not, I'm sure like autocorrect, like the Google will say, "Did you mean?" and then they'll show you the standardized spelling. Solipsism is the idea that actually you're the only thing that exists, and everything else, like other people, and possibly all of reality, like, is just part of your imagination. How's it going, by the way, Sweet Nick? Sorry, I think I answered your question, but I didn't actually say hello to you, so hope you're doing well. I saw you were streaming AI Somnium earlier. And I think, like, I can never remember if the creator of AI Somnium is the same as the creator of... I think they're not the same as Danganronpa, but they are the same as 999, if I remember correctly. And I know the 999 person likes these topics too, you know, like philosophy of consciousness, of identity, and so on. So maybe AI Somnium also covered some of these topics. How was your stream? How did it go? Kiwi Redeem asked me something technical. If you enjoyed time wasting, did you really waste time? Yeah, I mean that's the idea here is that there's how do I say? You have the issue is how you label things, right? What is 999? 999 is a different video game. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. I'll try to address Kiwi's question first, and then we'll talk about 999. The thing is, it's possible for you have a word in a sentence, and it actually refers to two different things, but then you think because you know, like it's the same word, it feels like it's actually referring to the same thing. I'm trying to think of a good example of that. Okay, so I think I think this is a pretty standard example. You say like nothing is better than love, but having a sandwich is better than nothing. So having a sandwich is better than love, right? So the word nothing there, we're using the same word, but it's actually referring to two different things. But it feels like it's referring to the same thing, right? Like if not even if you just look at the words. In one case where you say nothing is better than love, what we're trying to say is that there does not exist anything that you can come up with that would be better than love. And then when you say, you know, a sandwich is better than nothing, you're saying like a sandwich is better than the lack of a sandwich, right? Like if you had nothing at all, if you had no possessions, and then you were given a sandwich, you're in a better situation than you were before. So two different, like the word nothing referring to two different concepts, but you might, if you weren't paying attention, it might feel like they were referring to the same concept. So that's what's going on with, like, if you enjoy time wasting, did you really waste time? So this idea of wasting time, you can think of it as like when you do something, you know, you do an activity that takes some time to accomplish. And then you can ask yourself, like, do you feel like that was a good use of your time? Right? Do you regret what you did, or actually you gained something from doing the activity? If you feel like you did not gain anything from it, then you might call that, you know, a waste of time, right? Like, I wasted my time. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done something else. Then there's like the idea of like, of just relaxing, of just doing nothing, right? Just playing video games, for example. And we can also refer to that as wasting time. Just passing time, just allowing time to flow in an enjoyable way. And some people like that. I like that. I like just goofing off, you know, doing nothing. So two different things. And so yeah, you can have one of them without having the other. You can enjoy time wasting without wasting time. Sweeting says, yes, Death the 99%. Oh my god, what a great series. Good sequel, still good, but not as good as the first. Somnium, how you been, Nebu Nebi? Been pretty good, thanks, Sweetnix. Not as good as the original, huh? That's disappointing. But I guess like, you know, sometimes it happens and it's whatever. I feel like I really like Danganronpa 1, and I felt less good about Danganronpa 2. Some people really like Danganronpa 2. Some people say that it's better than the first one. They like it better than the first one. But I like the first one. I was okay on the second one, and I did not really like the third one, unfortunately. Or let me rephrase it. I did not like V3. What I did like Danganronpa 3, which is an anime, and which is something different. I thought Danganronpa 2 is so good. Like, Danganronpa 3 is probably my favorite. Then Danganronpa 1, then Danganronpa 2, and then Danganronpa V3. And I don't know where to put the Dangerous Ultra Girls, or whatever it's called. I always forget what it's called. Because it feels like such a different game that I don't know how I would compare it, like, you know, how to the main series. So Chris says, what is 999? 999 is a puzzle game, basically. It's one of those, it's the game where, like, you wake up with amnesia and you're locked in a room, and then you're like, and someone's like, there's like the chain, what's it called? Saw? The Saw guy is like, I put a bomb in your stomach, and if you don't solve this puzzle in 60 minutes, it'll explode, you know, that type of thing. So you have to solve the puzzle. And yeah, so it's a puzzle game where you, with like a visual novel puzzle game, where you're just solving a bunch of puzzles and then uncovering the story. I brought it up mainly because, like, the topics that we're talking about now are the same type of topics that that game likes to talk about. Of, like, you know, what is reality? How do you know you're really conscious? Our AI is conscious, and things like that. One of the topics, some of the topics that the game talks about. The game series. There's 3 games in the series. And actually, like, the series isn't even called 999. It's called something else, but I can't remember what it's called. Zero Escape? Is that what it's called? I think the first game is called Zero Escape: 9 doors, 9 people, something like that. I don't know. The number 9 shows up 3 times, so everybody just calls the game 999. Zero Escape, yes. But what is there 9 of? I got 9 doors, 9 rooms, 9 people? Is that what it is? Like, what is the full name of the game? I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, really fun series of games. Although, like, again, and I don't know if this is a coincidence, 1 and 2 was really good. 3 was like, I didn't like number 3 of the 99 series, of the Zero Escape series. So I don't know, it's like just something with those guys, that author. Or rather, let me take a step back. What I used to think is like, oh, so just, you know, that game designer, his third game always, like, I always don't like his third game. I always like his first 2 games, and then I don't like his third game. But then I found out that actually the guy who made 999 and the guy who made Danganronpa are 2 different people. They're colleagues. They both work at the same company, and so they probably influence each other because there's a lot of overlap in the style of the 2 games. And I think there are even references from one game to the other, right? Like you can see a character from one game show up as a cameo appearance in the other game. So that's why I thought it was all designed by the same person, but actually it's two different people. And it's just coincidence that in both cases, I did not like game number 3 in the series. Oh, Nonary Games, that's what it's called. No, wait, actually, so, I don't think that's what it's called. Like, I think this series is called Zero Escape. And there's a first Zero Escape game and a second Zero Escape game. And then they made a bundle, which includes the first 2 games. And that bundle is called Nonary Games. So it's like a confusing naming system. And I think that's also something that, like, these people like to do, right? They like to make the names of their games confusing. Because, like, they have a game called, well, it's not really a game. They have something called Danganronpa 3. And they have something different called Danganronpa V3. And Danganronpa V3 is like the 3rd game in the series, depending on which side games you count and which side games you don't count. And so it does get confusing because, like, sometimes someone might say, like, oh, have you played Danganronpa V3? Or sorry, they might say, have you played Danganronpa 3? And if you take that literally, then the answer is always no, like, because it's impossible to play Danganronpa 3 because Danganronpa 3 isn't a game. But you know, you can understand what they really mean is, have you played Danganronpa V3? Right? But yeah, that's one of those things where, like, because they choose complicated numberings for the games, it can be difficult to talk about sometimes. And lots of people just, you know, refer to them in sloppy ways. Like, I call the game 999, or I call the series 999, even though that's not the name of the series, that's just the name of the first game. But then, you know, fans of the series know what you mean, even though you use the wrong terminology. First, congratulations, Chris, on getting first. Chris asks, do you get headaches from discussing these topics? No, I like discussing these topics. I like these philosophical questions usually. There are some philosophical discussions I don't feel are very interesting because I don't think the people, like, this is usually like I'm reading a blog article or something like that, right? I feel like the person isn't actually interested in exploring the idea. I think they're just trying to sound mysterious, like have some mysticism, right? And so, like, one way in which that happens is that they do the thing that, like, that Kiwi was asking about, right? Where they use words in weird ways to confuse you. And then if you just, you know, if you're, they might say something and it sounds really deep, but then you realize, oh, but they're actually, what's going on is they're just using the same word to refer to 2 different concepts that are actually unrelated. And so they're like, the weird, like, crazy mysterious thing they said is actually not crazy and mysterious at all. So I see that sometimes, and call it philosophy. Like, sometimes people say philosophy and they're talking about that type of stuff, and I don't like that. I find that, like, uninteresting, right? To try to figure out where the I was gonna say where the problem lies in their discussion, but it's not even that. I don't think that's what the goal is for those discussions. I think the goal is just to feel awe, you know, to feel like, oh man, my brain is going, you know, that's wild. I'm like, my mind is blown, or. And there's nothing wrong with it, like, objectively. Like some people enjoy that feeling, and so if certain style of writing helps them experience that feeling that they enjoy having, then yeah, go for it. Read those articles and enjoy the feeling. Kind of like, you know, they're like horror stories. Some people like this feeling of, like, getting spooked, right? Of reading it, like a scary murderer or a clown in the basement or whatever. I don't like that feeling, so I don't read horror stories, but other people do like it, so they read it, and that's fine. But I bring it up just because, like, the word philosophy can mean different things to different people. And so when I say, like, yeah, I like philosophy, I like philosophical discussions, I was trying to clarify, you know, I like these things, I don't like those things. You like what if questions. Have you read, do you read the webcomic XKCD? What the heck killed me? I guess someone must have shot me or something like that. Anyway, I was supposed to buy an upgrade. I forgot to do that earlier. There's a webcomic called XKCD. And it's usually a geeky webcomic. Like it's jokes about things in science. Oh wait, I was supposed to buy the upgrade. But the author is pretty smart. Like he knows a lot of science and math and things like that. Because and you can tell because his jokes reference like complicated topics in math and science and things like that. But you don't always have to know the math and the science to understand the joke. He just like references it without yeah, I guess that's how I'll phrase it. He just references it, and so you know he's smart, but then you don't need to know everything to understand the joke. Anyway, the reason I bring it up is because he has a series of books called What If. I think there's only 2 books right now. One of them's called What If, and the other one's called What If 2 or something like that. And it's in the books he basically it's not, I don't think it's philosophy, it's more science questions. But he sorry, my brain froze for a moment because I just realized I may have bought the wrong upgrades. I'm like, oh shit, you know, I should have bought something else. He answered questions like, well, what would happen if you threw a ball at the speed of light, or at 99 cents the speed of light? Like if you're playing a game of baseball and the pitcher threw the ball at the 99% the speed of light, what would happen? And so what's interesting about that book, I think, is he does the analysis. Like he does all the calculations and he figures out this is what would happen in that scenario. And he answers those questions. So I don't know if that's exactly, like maybe when you said what if, you were taking more philosophical questions and science questions. But when you said that, it reminded me of that book. Oh my god, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna lose all my upgrades. Give me the healing, please. Chris says, imagine a philosophical horror game that makes you question your existence. Sweet Nyx says, I would want to play that. I would be interested in playing that too. I think it's tough to pull off. Because I think, like, what horror games can do relatively easily is make you question whether your character's game in the game exists, right? But to make you question whether you as a player yourself exist feels very challenging. Oh no, what? Okay. And I feel like a lot of people I freaking die. I lost everything. I didn't even make it that far. I lost all my upgrades. And I didn't even beat my record. Horror versus Stanley Parable. Yeah, that might, well, so the thing is I don't really like horror games, so that's why I'm hesitating here. Because I get too spooked. But I do like, I like exploring the philosophical question, right? So that's why I'm having mixed feelings on this hypothetical game. I think a lot of people don't take a game seriously. There's a concept I think from storytelling and maybe theater called the magic circle. And the idea is that when someone tells you a story, like whether it's via a play, like in the theater, or a book, or I guess a video game, or whatever, there's sort of an agreement between the player and or the reader or the watcher and the author. and this agreement is called the magic circle. The idea is like once you enter the circle, you are allowed to believe. You're allowed to take the events of the story seriously, and we won't punish you for it, right? We won't betray you. And so the idea then is that when something sad happens, you can really feel sad. Like when a character dies, you can feel sad that the character died, because like as if it's someone you actually knew, like a dear friend of yours died, you know. And the reason this agreement, like what would happen if this agreement weren't present? A character might die, and then you feel sad about it, and then someone makes fun of you, like why are you feeling sad? It's just a fake character. It's not real. You're being overly emotionally sensitive, like you're being a wuss, you know? So that's a violation of the magic circle. And so I feel like most people who play video games don't enter into the agreement. Which is fine, like you don't have to, right? It's a consensual agreement. They don't allow themselves to get emotionally involved into the game. And the end result of that is that the game might not have as much emotional impact to you if you don't, like, you know, the character dies and you don't care. Like, who cares? It's whatever. It's just a video game. It's fake. So you miss out on opportunities, right, to experience, like, have these deep emotional impacts, which is fine. It's a choice that you can make, right? You decide for yourself. Do I want to? Am I willing to suspend disbelief in order to get this emotional feeling? And my observation is most people don't enter into the agreement. They're not willing. And I don't know if it's related to like streaming, because I think when you play a game in front of an audience, there's this idea of embarrassment, right? Like, if something sad happens in the game and then I start crying, I'm gonna feel a little bit embarrassed, you know, that why am I taking this game so seriously? And so there's like a reluctance to enter into the agreement when streaming. That's weird to me, says Sweet Nyx, since games so much more personal to me than viewing like a tier production. Yeah, so maybe you do enter into the agreement more often, the magic circle. I like to enter into the magic circle. I like to give, like, you know, enter into agreement basically. I say, okay, game, I'm gonna take your story seriously, and hopefully I get a good payoff of, like, you know, you give me an interesting emotional experience. Walking Dead, Clementine was like my kid. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, pause because I was about to cough there and I muted also. So I'm not saying that nobody enters into the magic circle anymore, but I think it's most people that I talk to anyway. They don't seem to do it. There's a reluctance. And I bring that up because I think to do this psychological horror game you're talking about, where the player questions we question the player's existence, not just the character's existence, would require you to enter into the magic circle, right? For you to take seriously the questions that the game is asking you. And I think that's very hard because most people won't do it. And it's like, so for example, consider earlier when I was talking about the Boltzmann brain paradox. So this is like that. This is all real. This is science, right? Like, it really is the fact that maybe you don't exist, and you're just a Boltzmann brain. Like, it's not fiction. This is a real thing. But probably you're not overly worried about it, right? You're not going to lose sleep over it, because you're presented with the idea and you're like, huh, yeah, that's an interesting idea, and then you move on. which is, I think that's a healthy reaction. I'm not saying you should feel worried. You shouldn't like curl up into a ball and then go comatose and never leave your house again because, oh my god, what happened? What if I really am a button brain? That's not probably the healthy reaction to hearing that. But it demonstrates that, like, even in nonfiction, it's hard to get you to emotionally engage with that idea. Or maybe not. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it. It's hard to get you to take the idea seriously, even when it's not fiction, even when it's real. So imagine how difficult it is then to get someone to take those ideas seriously when it is fiction. So I would love to see a game succeed at that. I think that'd be very interesting. But my expectation, my prediction is that it's going to be very hard to do. So I would be very impressed if a developer manages to pull it off. Let's see, Susie says, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, so good and so in that character's... I haven't played that one. I should check it out. I think it's on my list. Anecdotally, I think theater and books maybe are more often used to address deep human emotions than games are, or have a longer history of doing that, yeah. I mean, games are, like, just in general, a younger medium, right? Like, they only came about 1970s, maybe? I don't know when video games started. Whereas, like, theater and books, like, you know, long time, thousands of years. And so more experience has gone into figuring out what works for delivering emotional impact in books and theaters versus in video games. Dang it. Sweetnik says, it's gotta depend on the person consuming, their empathy, how in tune they are with their own emotions. Yeah, exactly. One of the things that took me... So I'm thinking about The Walking Dead again. I really like Clementine. And I empathize very strongly with... I can't even remember his name, because like I don't think of him as a different character. I think of him as me. Like, the main character, right? The person who basically adopts Clementine as his daughter. So without, you know, I'm gonna avoid spoilers, but in the sequel, you play as, or is it the sequel, or is it just later episodes? Another episode in the main first series. I don't remember, but you play as Clementine, still as a kid, and you have to do some puzzle solving as Clementine. As like I forget, is she like 14 or something like that? I don't remember, but you're playing as kid Clementine, basically. I say this just because there's another, like, later on in the series, they do like another sequel where you have basically adult Clementine. I don't know if she's fully adult, but she's much older in later on in the game series. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the early on when you're still a kid Clementine. And that one I had trouble getting into, like, emotionally. I mean, like, I enjoyed the game, but the game pushed me out of the magic circle. Like, it made it hard for me to suspend my disbelief, because what happened was that it's kind of like a puzzle game, right? The Walking Dead, like, they put you in a situation, and then you have to sometimes you have to solve a puzzle before you can move on to the next scene. And usually the puzzle is like, you know, you gotta find an item and then use it at the right location and things like that. And so there's you as Clementine, and then there's like all the other survivors, most of whom are adults. I think there's a couple kids, but but usually, like the majority of the people who are with you are adults. And it was because I was taking it seriously, right? Like I was like, let's say this is really happening and this is real, and how am I feeling about this? And the way I was feeling about this is that this is ridiculous, because like I'm a kid. Why is everyone waiting for me to solve the puzzle? You know, why am I the one who's like looking for the right item to use to unlock the gate? Why doesn't one of the adults do it? Because you can see like in it would be okay if like it looked like everyone was trying their best to find it, and it just by luck I'm the one who happened to find it, right? But the way the game presented it is like the adults were just standing around doing nothing, you know, waiting for me to solve the puzzle. And so the magic circle was broken for a moment there. Like I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna take, I can't take this seriously, because if I take it seriously, nothing makes sense. But then you move on to the next scene, and then you get back into it, and then you're okay again. But I bring that up as just like an interesting example of like it's a two-way agreement, right? Like as a player, you have to put in like emotional effort, to take the thing seriously. But then the game designer has to also put in effort to make sure that this is something that could be taken seriously. Like, his name is on the tip of my brain too. Yeah. What the heck is his name? Anyway. I mean, like, I think maybe that's a testament to how well the game gets you to empathize, right? Because you don't think of that character as being someone else then. Like, you think of, that's you. You're the... You don't think it's Lee. Yes, that is it. So the person, like, the game called... in the universe, the character's name is Lee. But like in my emotional experience of it, the game's character's name is Nebu, right? It was me. I'm the one who did all that. It wasn't Lee that did all that. That was me. And so when sad things happen, I'm the one who's experiencing the sadness, And when we triumph over, we accomplish something really great and we're feeling happy about it, I'm the one who's feeling happy, I'm the one ecstatic that we survived, not Lee. I don't even know who Lee is. There was no Lee in my story. There was only me. True, you really do. The first one was so good for that wonderful experience. Have you played The Wolf Among Us? By the way, StHELL. I really like the Wolf Among Us. The way Telltale games work is usually they do like a season, and each season consists of 5 episodes, like 5 games basically, right? I really like The Wolf Among Us, except episode 5. Episode 5 is like, what the heck is going on? I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening anymore. But up until then, Wolf Among Us, like Wolf Among Us episodes 1 to 4 might be my favorite Telltale series game. And then 5 was just like, it's not even that it's bad. It's just like I did not understand it. I don't know what was going on in the story. So I was just left perplexed. Gosh darn it. Nyx, there's a game on my list that I was thinking of streaming. I think it's called World of Nyx. And I have no idea what it's about. So, I'm bringing it up obviously only because it has Nyx in the name. But I was like sort of, I was looking at, like at the start of the stream today, I was like, what game am I going to stream today? So I'm looking at my list of games, and I see World of Nyx in there. And I'm like, yeah, I could play that, but I kind of want to if possible, you know, wait till Nyx is around before I play it. And you're here, so maybe what the heck? Did you see that saw blade flying through? Like it was stuck in the air, or was it falling? I couldn't tell. I was gonna say maybe I should switch to World of Nyx now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that because I didn't realize that. I lost track of time. I'm looking at the timer. I've been streaming for 3 hours, which is way longer than I expected. Sometimes what I like to do is like I do a stream where I just do a bunch of games, a bunch of different games, and I do like 1 hour per game. So this game, I like, you know, I would say I'll just do an hour of it, and I did 3 hours of it. So yeah, fun game. Apparently only $2. So you know, if $2 right now because it's on sale, $4 normally, I guess. September 9th is your deadline if you want to sell. Pretty interesting. Like it's for $2, really good game. As I think Cress and others have said in chat, I think it would have been worth it to have co-op in the game, you know, like multiplayer co-op where we all try to survive together, and then bump this up to like $5, say. But that's not the decision they went with. They went with $2 single player. Still pretty good. Okay. World of Nyx. Where is it? I gotta find the key. Theme key. Here it is. Let's check it out. Copy the key. I get these review keys, and usually I know basically nothing about the game, which is why you see me do like a lot of blind playthroughs and a whole variety of games, like all these different games. It's because actually I don't always choose what game I play. It's just like whatever ends up in my inbox. World of Nyx. Is there no category on Twitch for World of Nyx? There might not be a category for it. Okay, so let's set the category to games and demo. And not sure if this is a gamepad game, so let me plug in my gamepad real quick. In the utopian world of Nyx, resources have become endless. This did lead to the people into the agony of laziness, and many die because of fatigue. Sorry, I always get this error pop up whenever I plug in my controller. To overcome this state, the government has introduced a new rewarding gaming system to distribute resources. Your income does no longer rely on hard work or rip-off. Now it's solely about skill. The system is easy. As you progress in the VR worlds and get resources, these resources do get converted into credits. You can use those credits to either buy new VR gear or to buy synthesized RL stuff. District gaming has become the main income source for food and luxury, I guess. Luxus. Within the VR world, you can craft enhanced tools and even build a shelter so you can mine your stuff easier and you won't be affected by animals or rain. People with low skills do also get food, but due to the fact that it's tasteless, it's not as rewarding as in-game created food. You won't starve when eating cheap food, but you also won't get the benefit from it. Those benefits do range from health to stamina. Now it's time for you to hop into the utopian gaming-centered survivalist world of Nyx. Please note, hit F to mine and fight. Okay, so maybe it's a keyboard game. Have fun.
Good morning, human. Your task is to gather resources for getting better in gathering resources. Please step on the transporter platform to get sent to Hyper VR. Have a nice day.
Sorry, lowering the volume of the music a little bit. Please step onto the platform to enter to Hyper VR. Is that what it said? Camera's a little bit weird, actually. Like, how do I make it capture my mouse cursor? Because I have to hold down the right mouse button. Otherwise... I have to mouse cursor here and then it doesn't rotate the camera. Synthesizer exchange. Do I go up the ladder? Oop. Guess not. This might be an early access game. Oh, here's Hyper VR. That's where I want to go, I think. I stand on this thing? Press F. Okay. Hyper VR or boss? I guess Hyper VR. Am I doing it? Okay, there we go. Am I actually doing it? Okay, I am doing it. The animation just took a little longer than I expected. So I was like, time into emergency transport? There's an arrow to... Oh, is the arrow just telling me where this VR thing is? This teleporting is? I guess that's what the arrow's telling me. So... my world has lots of trees at least. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Do I mine resources maybe? Like, do I chop down this tree? Did I get resources from that? Oh yeah, okay, I see I have 1 wood in the top left corner. How do I do the rocks? I don't know if I even make it to this tree before my emergency transport time or whatever runs out. Hey, can I get this rock? 4 seconds. Everything you have gathered got lost during the what?
Great. You have gathered lots of resources. You may now exchange them for credits at the exchange terminal.
Oh, I guess I was supposed to chop 1 tree or something like that and then come back and then exchange it? Is that what this is? Okay, and then once I buy... I then... Okay, I think I understand what type of game this is now. F for tree. Yeah. Let me check. Does the gamepad work? It does. Okay, so maybe the gamepad's a more convenient way to do this than mouse and keyboard. Because, like, trying to do mouse look, where I have to right-click to... The only thing is I don't know what F is on the gamepad. Or do I have to... Maybe I have to press F on keyboard. Wait, I'm not on the teleport pad anymore. Okay, no, I think... Okay, the gamepad sort of works. Like, it lets me walk around, but I guess the game really was designed for keyboard mouse, because I can't navigate the menu with, with my gamepad. Is it random? I can't tell. But let's grab this tree, I guess. And see if we can grab maybe a second tree, because I still have 40 seconds. Maybe a rock also. Let's get the rock in fact, because I feel like it's going to be worth more. Okay. 35 seconds, so let's see if I can grab this tree. $20. Okay, after this one, I'm probably going to return back to the teleport. Please.
Great. You have gathered lots of resources.
Oh, I got gems.
You may
Nice.
now exchange them for credits at the exchange terminal. Thank you for exchanging resources. You may now use them to buy awesome upgrades.
What did he say? You may now... Did he say use a synthesizer? I couldn't hear what he said. I think I want time, right? Like, 1 minute is like very low. 2 minutes of VR time.
Thank you for your business.
Yeah, I can't hear what he's saying. I think the music is too loud compared to his voice. I don't know if you guys could make out what he's saying. The narrator's like mumbling. Yeah. I'm stuck. What? What? There we go. What is boss? Am I gonna regret this? Is this like I have to fight a boss, or is this like my manager and I'm talking to him? Either way, I'll probably regret it. Uh-oh. Hey, buddy. Oh, frick. How do I fight? Oh. Am I winning? Where's my health? Where's his health? He's like doing Hadoukens, but no fireballs coming out. No fighting, only friends. Was I can't tell if I was close or not because I don't see health bars or anything. We're just awkwardly standing there. Now I'm dead. I can still rotate. What do I... I don't know what to do now. Like I'm pressing escape, I'm pressing F. I guess this is the agony of laziness that we're now stuck in. All right, maybe let me try only the cold embrace of death. Yep, this is the whole game now. It's permadeath. See if I can like force quit it and then get back in, hopefully. And then hopefully I'm not in the boss room anymore. Hopefully I'm back in the I don't know what to call it, the hub world. And then we have 3 minutes now to gather resources.
Good morning, human. Your task is to gather resources for getting better in gathering resources. Please step on the transporter platform to get sent to Hyper VR. Have a nice day.
Okay, so we still have our stuff, I think, because I have three credits or gold or whatever. And hopefully we have 3 minutes now to gather resources. Yeah, we do. Okay. Can I run? No, I can walk. I mean, I guess, meaning by default I'm running. So when you go to the synthesizer to buy upgrades, I didn't see anything about like upgrading your attack strength or anything like that. I'm at -1 stamina. Can I go to -2 stamina? If I like mine something else? Not enough stamina. But what happens when I do it anyway? Or does it just not break? Just soft human fights versus giant bot. Giant fight bot. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I guess I can't. Like, I guess what happens is you deal 0 damage if you have 0 stamina. Or less than 0 stamina. Alright, so I guess now the bottleneck is our stamina, not the amount of time we need.
You have gathered lots of resources. You may now exchange them for credits at the exchange terminal. Thank you for exchanging resources. You may now use them to buy awesome upgrades.
Yeah, still can't understand what he's saying. So $100 for stamina? Are you kidding me? What does food do? For some reason, it's really hard to exit this room. Like, I keep getting stuck on some ledge or something that's over here. There we go. And it's like the Danganronpa Gatling gun that's guarding a wall, a door. Of course, all the windows are barricaded, so you can't see outside. You can't see the most terrible thing that happened in all of humanity. So does food do anything? Like, I bought food. Do I have a better weapon? Do I run faster? What's gonna happen? I don't see anything different. I don't know if food does anything. Okay, so we have plenty of time. Like last time, what we ran out of was stamina. So I'm thinking maybe I should only do rocks, because I think gems are the most valuable things. So if I just look for rocks and always go for that. Wait! Why is my emergency time only 20 seconds? Is buying time a one-time use?
Great. You have gathered lots of resources. You may now exchange them for credits at the exchange terminal.
Like, I don't get permanent plus 2 minutes, I just pay for 2 minutes each time. Oops, not this one.
Thank you for exchanging resources.
I think we're gonna do one more trip into Hyper VR. Tutorial, grandma time, yeah. And then I think I'll probably end stream because this game is actually giving me a little bit of motion sickness. Here I am stuck again in the freaking. Like the turning speed is weird, or so it's just exactly the right speed to make me a little dizzy. So here's our last trip into Hyper VR. And then we're gonna try to focus on rocks, I guess. Does it make a difference, gray rocks versus brown rocks? Probably, but let's see. Oh no, gray rocks gives me gems just as well. So hopefully we can get 5 gems. We have 8 stamina. Oops. Oh, I got, what, like silver or something? I don't know what that is. I got a different resource anyway. Actually, I don't know if we'll have time to get 5 rocks, because I walk pretty slowly, or I run pretty slowly, I guess. Is that like an Arctic biome over there? I see white. Is that snow? Can I risk it? Yeah, I guess I'll risk it. I'll go over there. Oh, I'll go over there, actually. Grab that rock, and then we'll be out of stamina, and then I'll head back to the transport. And then we'll see how much money we can get. So calming bird chirping noises, at least. I have to like dodge the tree.
Great. You have gathered lots of resources. You may now exchange them for credits at the exchange terminal.
How much money did we make? Not that much.
You may now use
Jeez.
them to buy awesome upgrades.
Yeah. Can we? Okay, so I don't think we can climb this thing. Is there anything else in the space station besides the 3 terminal things we found? No, I think that's it. I think that's the whole game. Okay. Well, that was World of Nyx. Is it early access? What is this? What is the status of this game? It is early access. The game is not finished yet. The essential parts have not been implemented yet. It is playable to give you a chance to contribute and allow you to track the progress of development. The game is being released in early access. Trees and fistfights. Yeah, I don't know if you can even... Like, is it possible to beat the boss? Because, like, you can upgrade health, I guess, but you can't... I don't see anything about upgrading attack damage or anything like that. One review. Not a roguelike. Does he just list games that are not roguelikes? Isn't that like a lot of games? This game is not a roguelike. This game is not a roguelike. This game is not a roguelike. Okay. Well, good to know, I guess. Yeah, and I agree with that reviewer or curator or whatever. This game is not a roguelike. What does the trailer show? Swim. Oh, you can swim? I didn't know that. Apparently there's functionality that we missed in the game. Or content we missed even. Let's see what swimming looks like. Okay, yeah. Definitely swimming. No oxygen meter as far as I can tell. Well, then again, we don't see the UI because I don't see health or stamina down here. Build craft feature not yet implemented. Boss fights feature not yet implemented. I mean, that's a strategy, I guess, right? To, in your trailer, mention features that you haven't implemented yet. It's probably, to be quite honest, it's probably the strategy that most AAA games go with, right? Like when they release a trailer for a game that's not finished yet, they might not actually have that feature implemented in the game at the time the trailer comes out. I'm thinking like No Man's Sky, right? Isn't that game infamous for bragging about a whole bunch of features, and then in the end, those features weren't there. So let's get that cap rate up. Here we go. Turn down desktop. Actually, the desktop was already pretty low. And then interact. Where is it? Right click on this. Interact. Play. So yeah, so that was, what was the first game? STHELL and World of Nyx. 2 games we checked out today. My regular schedule is top left corner of the screen. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. So 2 hours ago in your time zone is when I do the Steph's Thursday stream. I do a game with Stephanie, co-host. Did we decide what we're gonna play? I don't think we decide yet. It's probably gonna be a puzzle game because that's usually what we do on Thursdays. But we'll see. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific, that's about 3.5 hours ago in your time zone, we have Solo Saturdays where I play random indie games to check them out, see how diversify our experience in video games a bit. Also, I think this coming Tuesday, I'm going to have a stream with Jubilee. We don't know what game we're going to play yet. It's also, we're not sure what time, but it's probably going to be evening of my time, so like around 6 p.m., maybe 5 p.m. Join the Discord. We got the Discord for announcements to changes the schedule and any announcements for off-schedule streams. So that's where you'll see the announcement for the Tuesday stream with Jubilee. And otherwise, I think that's it. That's it. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of Cat Parade while I look for something to raid.